Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Rod. You know, Mr. Daiquiri Man himself, Mr. Hard Worker himself. Tighten up, everybody. Tighten the fuck up.
Long shot he had was the bribe and shit to lose. Like that was the longest shot he had. But you didn't take. You didn't take no money. Take the money. So if they do fire you, you got like, hey, I need that.
Man, the original shit started, man. I don't want no smoke with Malik, aka Martin, man. We just be chilling today. Got this bullshit ass Cowboys that's supposed to be going to the playoffs.
How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling about the first quarter of the season so far? We 25 games in now.
Well, last year around this time, I was looking at the lottery already. So for me personally, blessing to be able to see my team turn the corner and continue to improve as we continue to get a little more healthier going into the season. Hopefully we stay that way, knock on wood. I'm happy with the way my team is playing right now.
Mr. Common Sense. Asshole, I nature, or motherfucking answer. Y'all know what it is. It's the Lakers Nation. Throw that out there too. Mr. Please someone beat the Cowboys. So or can
Please.
All that shit.
I would literally take any guard on your roster for Russ right now. I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Care.
I'm sure the Lakers would take Ricky Rubio light for Russell Westbrook right now.
Sure the fuck would. I sure the fuck would.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Straight up, too. They'll trade him straight up. No picks, no money consideration.
I'll throw in a future second. Just here.
Corey, bro.
Just have it. Just because
They're just throwing in a draft pick for Russell Westbrook and Ricky Rubio light is crazy.
You know what it is. He was Zero Dark 30 himself. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Blackout season coming soon. It's Malik the motherfucking god. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's get that.
Trade deadline coming up Thursday. Who needs to be traded?
Julius Randle! Get him the fuck out of here! Right now! What are we talking about here?
Wow. Oh, Malik, you want to go?
I'm saying enough!
We outside. We outside. Conversations at the shop.
Yo.
Oh yeah, we back, baby.
What's good, homie?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling outstanding right now. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. I'm in a good mood today. You see it. It's all over my face. We're in a good mood today.
Is.
We're doing fight night. It's been a while.
It has been too long for this.
You finally came outside.
I ain't nobody worried, afraid of coming outside.
You finally came outside.
Nobody afraid of coming outside.
You know, honestly, I can't talk too much shit right now.
Because the reason you were saying I was afraid to come outside was because someone got beat up, and since that time, things have occurred.
Looking for revenge. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Malik, and of course, my co-host, my man's Corey. Welcome to Conversations at the Shop, Fight Night. I should be able to tell you what episode we on, but I'm not sure because we up there.
We're on episode Street Jesus. That's what episode we're on. We are on episode Street Jesus. Because street shit goes down. When you talk street shit happens.
Episode 31. That's where we at.
Episode 31, subtitle, Street Jesus.
All right, so since Corey already with the shits, let's just go ahead and get into it. Our first topic. Let's start from the top on this one because this is some shit we should have talked about before.
Fair enough.
Let's start from the top. What's good, Cole? What's going on, family? Let's start from the top, yo. Kobe Covington versus Jorge Masvidal.
Round one.
Round one. So the fight pretty much went
exactly the way we thought it was going to.
Exactly the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, me and Corey, we fuck around with our picks and all of that, but I was going to come on here and talk shit to Corey, but Corey made a good point, is that he picked Masvidal just because he couldn't pick Kobe, but he broke down the fight of how it would go.
We literally went through and said, this is probably what's going to happen. I said, this is probably what's going to happen, but I'm never going to pick Kobe Covington to win a fight. So I'm picking Masvidal. Period. Right. That's how it is. That's how it's just what it's gonna be.
Yeah, appreciate that, Cole. Love.
And for sure. Love, always. And that's how it went. Kobe did what Kobe does. You know, I can't stand him, but we're never gonna act like he's not an extremely talented fighter in the cage. And he did what we expected him to do. He completely. I mean, it felt like middle of round 2, Masvidal was gassed.
Yeah, definitely. You could see it.
You could see it. He was out. He was done. He was at some point. He was defending takedowns. I mean, and quite frankly, he did a good job for a large portion of that fight with his defense. Or like, I mean, he's getting to the ground, but Kobe wasn't able to do for large portions of the fight a lot of damage, and really it was a lot of just positioning and posturing because Masvidal was doing a good job of keeping him at bay. And then eventually Masvidal just got too tired, and that's when Kobe was able to kind of tee off on him on the ground like he did. I think it was round 3 that he really started fucking him up. And then Masvidal rocked him in round 4 and had zero energy to follow up. He rocked him.
He was out. He was going to be out. If he caught him with one more, Kobe was going to sleep.
It's that follow-up shot. It's like Cormier said. I always remember Cormier talking about it when he fought Rumble Johnson. He's like, the first time he fought Rumble Johnson, he's like, he caught me that first one, and I knew I can't let him catch me with the second one. Like if I get caught with the follow-up, it's a wrap. And he's able to avoid it, and Masvidal just didn't have any of the energy to actually follow up and really pressure him after he rocked him on that first one. And round 5, he just took him down again and same much it. Kobe won the fight clear. No arguments. I want to say the second I gave Masvidal. One of the early rounds I think was kind of close.
I think I gave him the second.
I think it was the second as well. But other than that, all the other rounds were clear. It's clear as day.
You wouldn't even consider giving him the 4th?
No, because it was literally one really good punch. There wasn't even like some flurry follow-ups and getting that. Like, no, it was none of that. Like, he couldn't. He really rocked him one good time, and that was kind of it. So Kobe won the fight, and even after that, immediately after it was still talking shit. Still in the cage, still talking shit. No love lost, none. They kept talking. At all. It was which we see a lot in the UFC. Okay, we did all that. We went through these rounds, and you know what? Better man won or whoever, and there's respect after the fight. Even with something like Kobe and Usman, you kind of saw that. You saw with Silva and Son, and like you see that. None of that shit here. Zero. None of that.
Yeah.
Masvidal said it's still on site if I see Kobe.
And what did Kobe say in response?
Same damn thing.
It's on site, right? Okay.
It's on site. He said it's on site. These are the.
Just wanted to check, make sure I wasn't tripping.
No, 100%. Kobe said it's still on site. They're both of my. I don't know if they both were of the mindset, but they both said the words. It was still on site.
That's a
Only
good point.
one of them.
That's a
Only
good,
one
that's a
of
good.
them may have been on that mindset. It's just which leads to round two, in which it looks as if. Has there been any video of the actual incident? Because I haven't seen any video. Like, there's been video of the aftermath.
There's a video, but it's so blurry that
because it's.
Here's the thing. This is a new development of what I just thought about. There was really no eyewitnesses that said it was Masvidal.
It's all assumption that it's Masvidal.
And the video is wild blurry. You can't tell it's Masvidal.
Well, because my thing was, okay, so for those who are unaware, there was an incident in the parking lot of a Miami restaurant. Colby Covington got pieced up in the parking lot of said restaurant, reportedly chipped a tooth. Before video came out, Masvidal came on Twitter and said, "This is."
That's what they got him on.
That's why
Twitter.
we know it's Masvidal, because he went on Twitter and said, "It's called this to show your face challenge." And Kobe is not joking.
Masvidal. Jesus Christ. I made a perfect argument for you defensively just now, and then I forgot about that part.
Yeah, he did that. Kobe has yet to show his face. Throwing it out there. My only
he chipped his tooth. Why would he want to?
Yeah, I mean, just saying. That being said, the video, well, basically what it has gone down is that Masvidal basically caught Kobe slipping in the parking lot. Is what it seems to be.
Yeah.
I want to see, and this is why I ask: has there been video of the actual incident? Because we've seen video of the aftermath.
It's not. There's a video. I saw it, but I wasn't like it's one of them videos that you gotta really look at. Like, it's not clear exactly what the fuck happened.
The only side of the story we've heard is the side of Kobe. And that's why I want to know if Kobe, if there's no video, there's not really kind of eyewitnesses of what really happened. A couple people there, I guess. But if I'm Kobe and I have a character to protect, why wouldn't I say, yeah, he sucker punched me when I wasn't looking? You know what I mean? Like, and that's not to say it didn't happen. It's just a matter of this is the only thing that we know is his side. I would like to still hear from the Masvidal side of what went down. Now, if this side is still true, and what Kobe, well, technically, he has invoked a law in which he has protected his identity, but we all know it's you. So why are you doing this, Kobe? Come on. If this is the case, is Jorge wrong for sucker punching him? Sure. There's a better way to handle it? Yes. 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
In theory, you would rather run up, even if you run up on him to his face and say, "What's good?" and then swing something like it. What it seems to be is if he kind of ran up from behind, gave him a 1-2 real quick. Is there a better way to handle it? Well, yes, 100%. That's not a great look for Jorge. That being said, it really ain't no rules in the streets. If you're going to talk the way that Kobe talks, you now have to be smart enough to not get caught slipping. Period. Point blank. You can't get caught slipping. That's part of it, and Kobe don't understand that part of it.
Yeah.
That's just what it is, and I'm not hearing that it was promotion shit. I'm sorry, we got to stop that. We seriously have to stop that. I am not hearing it's promotion. He's promoting a fight. No.
Yeah, I'll just hit Gino up again because I was about to make this point.
No, you can't. I'm just done with that. You can't keep using that as a reason to cross boundaries that you would never cross otherwise.
True.
I'm over that. I'm really, really tired of that. And that goes for anyone. And I like that go, you just don't touch on families, don't touch on kids. You don't do shit like that. Even for some people, like we saw, there's a reason Khabib jumped the cage and super kicked someone diving off the fight. You don't in some areas you don't fuck with my religion.
Yeah, you do.
You don't fuck like you don't go down that path.
You don't.
You can't.
You don't. You saw what
that.
Khabib said too, right?
Right. Khabib said no one should do a fight with him no more. Like you don't. We fighters. If you got caught, all right. Well, now we gonna fight again. I'm gonna see you. You can't talk all that and be a fighter and then turn
press
to law
charges
enforcement.
and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is. It's a really bad look for Kobe.
Yeah.
Unless you were seriously really jumped and in the hospital for some serious unless it's at that level, dog, you got pieced tooth. All right, look, you take that money that you spend hiring the strippers to walk out on stage with you, go see a dentist, get your tooth fixed, and come back and say, all right, Jorge, you got all right? Bet. See you again. Yeah.
See, thank you for laying all of that out, by the way. I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you, of course. I've heard a lot of opinions on this. I heard Luke Thomas talk about it the other day, and he's with Kobe pressing charges, and there's a consensus because there's two sides of it. You know what I'm saying? So people are looking at it from both ways. Luke Thomas said if it's Masvidal, he knowingly broke the law. Regardless of the situation, we can't necessarily sit here and agree with breaking the law for battery charges. He said something along those lines.
He committed a crime. There's not
and then he was like,
he committed a crime. Yes.
And then he was like, Kobe should press charges and Kobe should sue Masvidal. That's what Kobe should do. Masvidal put himself in a position for that to happen. So Masvidal should kind of expect those consequences, which dawned on me as well. Jorge, you know Kobe was like this. You knew this was a possibility of what he would do because you know he's fake. You probably should have known that this was going to happen. So, and at the same time, you know, I don't want to say it's a black eye for the UFC, but there's been so many videos lately of fighters fighting in the street that this is probably something they should pay attention to. Because even though BJ Penn got knocked out, he was still fighting in the street.
That's a fact.
Then you got Conor McGregor punching an old man in the bar. Now you got Masvidal attacking, even though it's another fighter, that's not the point. They don't want that violence that comes from the octagon to spill out into the street, knowing that you guys are like trained fighters. So this could be a situation where Dana would have to do something. I doubt that he will. Luke Thomas did point out that the way the CBA is set up for the UFC,
there's
or
CBA,
whatever. My bad. Yeah, whatever agreements that they have, like they have a code of conduct. Excuse me, not a CBA.
There's a code of conduct in the contracts. Independent.
There's a code of conduct in the contract, and this does violate the code of conduct, but they don't usually touch that because they see them as independent contractors. So basically, you can't discipline an employee.
Yeah, they're not employees. That's
you know
fact.
what I'm
They're
saying. So it blurs the lines of that. So anytime some shit happens, unless it's like egregious, like the fighter with his girlfriend, or like while back, we can't. Unless it's something like that, they usually don't distance themselves from their fighters whenever they do something fucked up like this. So nothing's going to happen to Masvidal in the UFC's end, I believe.
No, it won't. I don't think so. If the UFC wants to do something about it, then they need to stop rewarding it.
True.
You allow
Connor throwing dollies through the bus, and then you use that in a build-up video.
These things get used as promotion.
You pieced up Leon Edwards in the back. You use that for promotion.
On you. These are on promotion. Like, you can't sit here and reward these things and then expect it eventually to not get taken to another level.
Right.
That's exactly. On. You have to draw that line. Because guess what? Everyone saw what Connor's done, and not just Connor. People saw Chael Sonnen talk his way into many a title fight, saying all kind of crazy shit regularly. Now Kobe's the next in line. Now we see Sean O'Malley talking this shit, and he hasn't gone down those lines. Don't get me wrong, but people are going to take. We just saw the shit with Patty Pimblett and that fight. They just had.
I forgot about that.
Before. And guess what's going to happen? They were there in the same weight class. They just fought on the same card and both won in impressive fashion. You think they aren't going to try to match that fight? And guess what's going to be a part of that promotion? That'll be a first fight on a pay-per-view or a main event on a fight night, and that clip will be right there in the fucking promotion for it.
Yep.
But then you want these people to not allow – you can't. You can't have that both ways.
Yep.
So if the UFC wants to stop it, they need to stop. They need to kill that shit when it goes down like that. You want this to still be this underground type of shit, but you want mainstream coverage and mainstream money. With that comes mainstream accountability.
Yeah.
And you have to hold your fighters accountable, not reward them because it's good promotion and it makes you money. That's a decision you got to make. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. So now that we pointed out why Masvidal shouldn't have done this, and then of course there's the argument that he had 25 minutes to do it and he didn't. I don't necessarily too much agree with that point, just because I know in the UFC, even though you're fighting, it's still a competition.
It's what was said was beyond the cage. So I'll give a separate example. If you remember way back, Josh Koscheck and Paul Daly. They were talking big shit the entire lead up to that fight. But it was all about fighting. You're not better than me. You ain't shit. I'll beat you. Koscheck ends up not actually trading with him, but wrestling him, dominates him, wins the fight. Now, when Paul Daly comes and punches him right after the fight and it's over, and he second punches after that, now you look back because we didn't go well beyond that. I just told you I was going to beat you. I told you I was going to whoop your. I told you I was going to whoop your ass in this cage, and guess what? I whooped your ass in this cage, and you couldn't handle it.
Right.
That's the difference. You speak on stuff outside of cage, shit can happen outside of cage.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right. So. And plus, if it's in the street, I got Masvidal beating the shit out of Kobe 10 times out of 10. I'm sorry. Like, if you really think about what happens in the street, like, it's going to be wild different. It's not going to be Kobe wrestling Masvidal and keeping him on the floor and then no, it's not going to be none of that shit. I guarantee you. That's not Kobe's first thought. It's going to be to wrestle. If he sees Masvidal in the street cut, that's not his first thought. So that's my point on that, because we've been going to war in the group about this for a week now. Everybody has different opinions. Another thing, people that's criticizing Masvidal that was cheering for him before the fight. Do you not pay attention? You don't pay, like?
Do you know who you're cheering for?
Do you know who this nigga is? Like, you thought all these interviews and this persona that he got, which isn't a persona, this is really who the fuck Masvidal is, knowing his background. You mad at the nigga now? He told you he would do some shit like this. This is always who Masvidal has been. So you didn't believe him this whole time? You thought all this shit was just for entertainment?
They said they made a belt for the guys like him and Diaz, who was like, nah, we different from these other dudes who just say shit. We about that action. Real recognize real. You thought Street Jesus was just a name because like he like no, he's really from the streets. Like what the fuck you thought this was?
Right.
Look it up. There's videos. There's video proof of him being in street fights, just fighting niggas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would be that. Like you got some money now, and so they're not.
It's your responsibility. That was Gino respect. I wish he was here so you could. You know what I'm saying? I wish he was here, but Gino was like, "Yeah, you're a professional now. Like you need to carry yourself in the professional decorum now that you're a trained fighter and that you fight in the UFC. You should have more self-control than that." It's a fair point. But if you knew who Masvidal was, you wouldn't hold him to that standard.
Not even that.
I'm just saying there's exceptions of who you should expect that out of. Like, yeah, it's probably what's best.
It is definitely what's best.
But you get
my two things with that, because it's not wrong. Like you would want, ideally, you're a professional. You do want it to be held to a certain level, so a certain standard when you're a professional.
Right.
Two issues with that. One, just because you're a professional does not it's just not automatically going to change people. You can't just
that was my point.
That's not possible. Some people are just. And two, we love them for that. You know why Allen Iverson is the greatest player in the hood of all time. Why? Because he didn't change. Like we love people for that.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have that both ways. Like we love the people. Money didn't change. He's still who he is. He got the money, but they still are who they are. We love that. That's why the Diaz brothers are so loved. That's why Masvidal is so loved. That's why AI. That's why all these dudes are loved like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're still the same. Yeah, we get pro, but they still who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and not to mention, as they said earlier, the UFC will capitalize on all that shit the second they get the opportunity to.
Of course.
So we can't want that. Like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to expect that. You can't expect it to be one way, but then are very quick to capitalize off it being the other way.
Right. Yep. So that was my third point. And my final point is basically is Kobe, should Kobe have any remorse for this? No. No. Not at all. No. Zero. You deserve zero sympathy. I heard Chael talk about Kobe's not all right and done it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. You say that shit, I've been called a deadbeat before by a family member and we no longer speak. Because if me and you were in the same room and you said that shit, we moving furniture.
Yep.
And then to say that shit publicly, not say the shit in the DM, none of that, and then to talk about his ex-wife, his kid.
See, these are things that get spoken by people who don't really. You ain't been through no shit like that.
Understandable.
It's always. I'm not saying this too, literally. These are the type of people, I can just say this. And it's like it's a fucking wrestling insult. And it's all no, you don't say no shit like that.
Right.
And we still cool.
Right. Exactly.
You don't. And those are the differences between the people who really know what's good and who've really been through the shit and those who would think they're just sitting here doing this shit for fun and we're just promoting a fight.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Here's the biggest point. This is the biggest point that people are missing. And this is why Kobe deserved what he got. Y'all were best friends, dude.
Yep.
Y'all were best friends. Don't act like you didn't know who the fuck you was talking to if y'all was best friends.
Or how to get him, how to get in. You know exactly what's going to affect.
You knew what was going to happen after all of that shit. You sold your soul for this shit. But don't act like you didn't expect this to happen, Kobe. You know who Masvidal is more than anybody else. More than anybody else you knew. Y'all was roommates. All that, don't tell me y'all was roommates and Masvidal was on his best behavior. Stop. That's why you deserve this shit, bro. That's it. You talk about a man that you knew. This isn't like an opponent that you've never spent time with. This isn't a Conor and Khabib situation. Conor doesn't really know Khabib like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why this shit is kind of more personal than the Conor and Khabib fight. Even though all that shit spilled out of the octagon, I get that. Conor was talking wild crazy, but Conor's known to just build the fight as well. But you knew this nigga. Like, it's totally different. So for you to just be like, nah, he shouldn't have done that. No. I'm sorry. What's good, Gino? You trying to hop on? Oh, yeah, Eric on that same train, too. I forgot.
Goddamn.
Eric, can you get on here?
Goddamn casuals. Here's what it is. At the end of the day, it's just further showing shit you don't go towards. Lead the families, lead the kids out of it. Like, simple as that. You lead the family, you lead the kids out of it. You stick to in the cage. You make shit personal. Personal doesn't stay in the cage. And again, this is a case where both of them are wrong. Masvidal committed a crime. Like, I'm not gonna sit here. No, he committed a crime. He did. He's arrested for it. He is facing second-degree battery charges, if I'm not mistaken, and criminal mischief. Criminal mischief, and second-degree felony aggravated battery and criminal mischief, with the possibility of that battery being moved into first-degree battery, because in Florida, if you are wearing a hood or something to conceal your identity, it can be moved from a second-degree to a first-degree battery. Which apparently Masvidal was, allegedly. Nothing's out there yet.
Allegedly. Well, look, man.
Allegedly.
Well, look. They talking about Masvidal might have to spend time in jail for this shit.
15 years is the max for second-degree battery, 30 for the first degree.
He's not getting 15.
He gets moved up to that. He's not getting that. He will have the best lawyers. It's all about who you know.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
There he is.
The sunglasses.
There he is.
Yeah,
With glasses on.
Just let's get down into this, right?
Go ahead. Yeah, I tried to make your point for you, but I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you elaborate yourself.
So I'm gonna say this because me and Malik, we were talking. First off, what's going on, fellas? I'm glad you guys are back doing these a little bit more often, frequently in a live format.
We trying.
Talking to you guys and realizing you guys can't read my comments, wasting my humor. But
wasting all the good jokes, all the good stuff. We ain't even there.
All right, we're gonna keep it a buck. Jorge fucked up. You can't call yourself a professional or anything and then not act professional, right? You're gonna say like, oh yeah, you have a history of crossing the line. and now you're engaging with someone who crosses the line as far as for marketing purposes and to build their brand. You come out on the losing end, and now you're mad, and now you're mad enough where I'm going to physically jeopardize my career and ability to do things, all because I want to have this level of certain street respect. And it's like, yo, when people called you out on your comments when you were talking about someone and you said like, yo, I'm going to end his bloodline, your response was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, yo, I heard what he said. I am mean it like, yo, I'm planning to kill his kids, even though I actually said, though, I literally implied that with my statement. I'm just going to end his ability to reproduce, which is, clearly a different sentence and statement than what I've said before. But now I'm changing it. But you're now saying like, hey, someone says like, hey, you a good father? You're hanging out with your ex-wife. Are you sure those are your kids? You're not acting like you're their dad. Suddenly like, yo, I got to sneak and sucker punch you to prove a point. I'm proving I'm a good father by going to jail and not collecting the bag that I'm supposed to be getting from my kids.
Corey, you want to respond? I went back and forth with this nigga for an hour.
I think you're equating two different things. I don't think he's sitting there saying I'm a good father because I did this. I think he's saying in where I'm from, there's a line that you don't cross. And I think what Malik also made a good point, Kobe, this isn't someone that you don't know. Yeah, this is someone that you lived with and that you were very close to. I feel like I agree with your point of being a professional to a certain extent.
We all agree with that point.
But it's hard to hold that when the company that you're a professional for actively rewards people not being professional.
True. And the thing is,
like, so if for the the UFC is gonna, how many times we didn't seen Jorge piece up Leon Edwards?
Leon Edwards didn't press charges. He had.
I know. I'm simply saying that's not a professional act, but that is something that would be promoted by the company themselves.
Because you can't. I don't think you can use that as a part of the argument off the strength that the injured party didn't take legal recourse. So you're saying hey, I don't feel this is a danger to my health or environment.
Did we use the counter throwing the dolly into a bus that they used for promotion that injured two fighters, cost them out of fights, cost them money?
Did any of those
and he faced criminal charges?
Did any of those fighters sue, or did the state?
Connor faced criminal charges.
Picked up by who? The state or the?
By the state, absolutely.
State of New York. So, exactly, yes. Because the injured parties refused to cooperate with law enforcement. True or false?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So you can't. That's again, you can't use that case. But
that's UFC. But that's UFC promoting unprofessional acts in order to better themselves. So how can you tell fighters? How can you tell fighters you're supposed to act in a professional manner when we're going to reward unprofessional criminal acts that are prosecuted as criminal acts? We can't have that both ways, regardless of whether a fighter pursues charges.
If both fighters are saying like, hey, if one fighter say I'm hurt and I'm saying, yo, I'm not going to sue the company or the fighter, I'm leaving this be. The company is then going to say, yeah, hey, we got footage, I'm going to use it, and you're like, okay, cool, because I get paid for this, right? Yeah, okay, cool, no problem. You can't say anything. You got paid for this. So I can't say like this was say they're using this as unprofessional and say, hey, this shit happened to you. Why don't we use this as footage in order to hype up the fight? Yeah, go ahead. No problem. I get paid for this? Yeah, you get paid for it.
Those fighters don't get paid for it. The other fighters didn't get paid for it. Michael Chiesa did not get money for them using the footage of Conor throwing a dolly into the bus.
I'm pretty sure.
Get paid for that?
I think you should check. Because I'm pretty sure if they had tried to push legal action and say, hey, you're using something that caused a grievous action to me, I need to be compensated, that's a big difference. If they didn't do anything like that, that's on them. But that's usually what most people would do. Most places of business, if you're going to use an injury of that occurred, something that caused an injury to me in a traumatic manner, and you're going to broadcast it, I usually get paid for it at profit.
But regardless of that point, how are you then going to tell people to not act in that manner?
Right. But
as a company, as the UFC, how are you going to expect?
Where was that bus? Where we talking about the bus? Where did it occur at? The stadium, right?
At the arena.
Right. At the stadium, at the arena. Essentially, it wasn't. Hey, yo, this fighter's out.
Leaving Kobe hit, press conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Kobe hit Leon Edwards. Where was he at? Was he randomly out? Yeah, he was in the arena. So he was at work. So these These people are essentially at work.
But it wasn't in a fight.
Right, no, but we agree UFC fighters' only place of work isn't just the octagon. That's where they do their performance art, but they still have to do the whole arena itself is their workplace.
But that wasn't okay. But like I can be like I work at a bar. I can be in the restaurant and not clocked in. I'm not working. I'm not right. But I'm not on the clock.
Do you think the badges they were wearing on their neck said like fighter, or did you think it just said civilian?
Yeah, but I'm a fighter when
you get what I'm saying? They were at work. They were at work. I'm not saying they were getting paid to be there, but they were at work. So if they wanted to sue, this is a UFC event. I'm at a UFC thing. This happens. Okay, cool. I'm out on town. I'm hanging out with my friends, and I get sucker punched by a fighter. That's a different event. That's a whole different thing.
I don't think one is worse than the other. I don't believe one is worse than the other. I don't believe just because this one was in the parking lot on the street and this one was in the parking lot inside the arena, but technically it's in the arena. I don't think either one of those makes it worse than the other. To that same point, because I brought this up earlier. Paul Daly sucker punched Josh Koscheck after the fight. He's never fought in the UFC since. And that was actually in the cage in the immediate aftermath of the fight. Is that any better or any worse?
No, and I personally think, and I say this all the time, and I've said this numerous times already, Jorge shouldn't be allowed to fight in the UFC again. Because what you've shown right there is beyond a high level of unsportsmanlike conduct, right? Because you essentially ducked out of Leon Edwards' fight to go fight Kobe. Right, someone you already had beef with. You ducked out of him to go fight someone who you knew, and everyone knows Kobe is notorious for being, I'm gonna try my best to get under your skin to sell my fight. The minute he put that MAGA hat on, the minute he put that MAGA hat on, you knew there's a certain level this guy's going to troll the fuck out of you, right? When he started talking about Usman's father, it was like, okay, cool. Call me Marty Usman, you call me this, that. Knocked him on his ass, broke his shit twice. And it was like, yo, look, I came here to prove a point. I had the opportunity to put my hands on him after he gave me all the motivation to do it, and I did it. Jorge, you have more than enough reasons to whip his ass, and you got paid to do it. You could not do it.
Absolutely.
Your response is, hey, I'm going to sucker punch him, and I'm not going to knock him out. But I'm also going to sucker punch him and be there with my friends to run up and jump him. That's a big difference. And you're saying like, oh yeah, this is street talk. You're saying, There was.
I'm saying Kobe said
no, I'm talking to Malik. Kobe's statement said that Jorge had people running up with him. So Jorge didn't just hit him by himself. He was like a gang of niggas running up to whip his ass. So
I didn't know that. That's the only reason why I made that face.
Right. If you read, I read the statement.
The statement said he got hit twice, and then there was other guys that approached him aggressively, but like no other punches thrown other than
he took off. He said he took off running immediately.
Huh? Yeah, something like that. Which, if you think you're getting jumped, you're gonna take off running, of course.
Right. So again, this is why I'm saying like how you where's the validity of this? Where it's like, yo, hey, this is a beneficial action and stuff. Like as soon as I heard he hit him, I was like, oh yeah, this is a felony. It's over. The way they're gonna use it is you're a trained fighter who knows better. Even if you want to say, oh well, I grew up doing street fights, he talked about my kid. Cool. That's not gonna hold up in the court of law because the streets, while there's street law doesn't get you, jailed. It doesn't take your money. It doesn't take your time. The most street law can do is kill you, which a lot of times is a lot better than being in jail for the rest of your life or losing valuable moments where it's like, I can never get this back and I have to live with the suffering. I miss this. And a lot of people can't deal with that thing. So in my head, it's like Jorge really just did a lot of stupid shit. And people are trying to say like, hey, I'm cool with this because I can't make long-term decisions for myself. That's how it comes off when people say like, I agree with Jorge. Jorge made a lot of bad shit short-term decision, and a lot of people saying I would make that bad short-term decision too because I understand. Versus saying like, yo, I would just go to Dana and say like, hey, can you pay me to fuck him up for real? Like I would, Jake Paul. Say, can we put me and him on the undercard in a boxing match on your shit? Because people will pay for that. People will pay for money for that.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, right. But I'm saying if you want to fuck somebody up that bad, you would try to do something.
I think
versus
there's
just saying I'm gonna run up on the nigga and sucker punch him, knowing
I think there's two
that
separate
this
arguments.
person's friends with the cops. Like this doesn't.
I think
there's
there's two separate arguments that you're not like on that point. Yeah, legally it was stupid. Yes, 100%. No one's gonna argue that point. He committed a crime. It was stupid. I think the thing is, and why people don't feel sympathy for Kobe and why people understand is because
I don't feel sympathy for him.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are.
I'm not saying
I'm
you
not
are.
saying you are.
Okay.
I'm not saying you are. But the overall consensus is like people are like, oh, poor Kobe, and it's like Kobe said the same thing. Like Kobe, the thing is, and what bothers a lot of people is that Kobe was saying the same thing. Yeah, it's on site then. Yeah. Like it's not like Masvidal said it's on site, and Kobe was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I'm not worried about this. Kobe said, yeah, it's on site. Right.
And I think
so. We're on, and that's the thing is that why you can't sit here and say that. This is why I have the problem when you're saying, "Oh, well, we're doing this and it's to get under people's skin and it's all for promotion." And everyone doesn't. You can't just use that as a reason to say whatever you want. And that is the problem that I have is that people are gonna hide behind the guise of it was promotion and I was saying this and. Number one, this is after the fight now. So you've already proven your point.
You think Will Smith killed the German Shepherd in real life?
Just one of his crazy comparisons.
Oh, the fucking.
Just want to know. You think he's allergic to seafood?
This ain't.
I mean, so right, but I'm saying people act, people follow.
But this ain't a movie. But this ain't a movie. But the fights ain't an act.
The fight may not be that, but we understand. Like, if we watch professional wrestling, we understand there's a certain level of.
This ain't professional wrestling.
Hold on, there's a certain level of promotion pulls. We watch UFC, we understand there's a high level of dialogue is what pushes the fight. That's what moves the needle. They want to sell as many tickets as possible.
That
you realize a lot of
make
times
it okay.
being the bad guy is what gets the money.
Be the bad guy as far as shit in the K. If we're talking about
I'm
fighting,
saying
keep
Kobe,
it to fighting.
Kobe taking the risk of getting punched in his face. Hey, that's a risk. He took the
And
risk
that's
of
the
losing
risk.
a tooth. That's
Yes.
that's an acceptable risk. Now, at the same time, Jorge now has to say, I sucker punched him. Now the acceptable risk is, hey, this nigga is going to press charges on me. I damaged his watch. I attacked him. I tried to jump him. And I've already gone out of my way to say that I did this. There's no me saying, no way I can say deny it. And then on top of that, because my coach said something, now Kobe can say like, hey, anytime I'm in the arena, Jorge nor any one of his team can be here. So Jorge can't be on supercards. He can get him to pack the fuck up. On top of the fact that if Jorge goes to jail for 2 years, that's the end of his UFC career. He's going to one fighting or something. That's it. That's it.
He would get on one of them Logan Paul cards. Two,
he wouldn't be able to.
Yes, yes.
No, if he's in jail for 2 years,
and when he comes out, I'm saying when he comes out, I guarantee you they would sign him up if he wants to fight. It'd be a huge fucking match. They care about the money.
Against who?
Whoever the fuck. It does.
It doesn't matter who they put him in.
He would be a draw coming 2 years off a draw. I think you are wildly underestimating how much he'd be a massive draw in that. Shit, I forgot. The other, what was the point you made right before? As far as Kobe doing that hurts himself as well, though. That hurts his own. It hurts his own character and his own rep. It does. It does. We can say. I'm not saying he couldn't still get fights. I'm not saying he still wouldn't be able to fight. But all the shit that he talks, because he talks a lot of shit. I'm tougher than you. I'm doing all this. And if you do that, and now they're saying you're going to put restraining orders on people, you're going to bar people from doing this, and you're going to still sit here and claim to be all the tough guy and talk all this stuff, he's lost all credibility in being able to even talk the shit that he talks. It hurts his character to do this. We already saw what Khabib came out and said. Like Khabib came out and said, I'll be real.
Khabib cannot say shit to me about anybody. Khabib has not fought the quality of the opponents Khabib fought versus how many times. Khabib is one of the biggest what ifs. When people were ready for him, when people in the division were like, I'm ready to test your shit.
Agreed. His run at the top wasn't long. But he beat a couple. His last like 3-4 fights were top quality guys. That's it. But it was just the last couple.
I mean,
agree. He didn't have the long run.
But anyway, my thing is, he stopped fighting because his mom told him to stop fighting. So he doesn't get to say shit like that.
Why not?
That's it.
Why not?
You don't get to say the same dude who, after winning a fight, jumped and started fighting people in the crowd.
And the exact same reason.
It's the exact same shit.
No. And the whole thing
you
is
cross a line. You cross a line that is beyond stuff in the cage. You got to be ready to deal with the repercussions of that.
My thing is the niggas he was talking. Listen, Khabib got to fight the nigga who's talking shit to him in the cage and beat him up. Right.
One of them.
Right. Hold on. The other people, he didn't say like, okay, I want to fight this motherfucker. I want to fight this motherfucker. He wasn't calling anybody out and shit like that. It's like, yo, I'm just after I win the fight, I'm gonna jump and try and start sneaking y'all niggas.
Yeah, because I'm not. No, that wasn't a sneak. That was a wide right in front of your face. But because you're not gonna charge Dylan Dennis. Who the fuck is Dylan Dennis? Ain't about to get a fight with fucking Khabib in the cage like that. It's not gonna happen. But it's the same.
Jorge had the opportunity to whip his ass and couldn't.
So
it's not saying like, yo, I'm.
Fight. So if Jorge had done the exact same thing, but he had won that fight, would it be if he had won the fight, but he's still like they're still talking shit, and he's like, fine, if I still see you, it's still on site, and he does this exact same thing, but he won the fight.
That's something different because now it's Kobe got his ass whooped, and you know when put up against this nigga was putting hands on you, and now you seem like a pussy because you antagonizing the nigga. The difference is like, yo, I beat the nigga's ass. The nigga now, instead of saying like, yo, I want a rematch for you, I'm running up and sneaking you with my boys. I'm trying to jump you. That right there says like, yo, in my head, it's like, okay, you calling Kobe a pussy because he's saying like, I'm pressing charges. This nigga fucked up my watch, right? I have to ignoring the fact that legally he has to sue him if he wants the insurance to cover his watch. That's all that matters.
Fucking.
Nah, I'm being real. Somebody fucking breaks my watch that's close to $100,000. Nigga, you're gonna pay for the damages. End of discussion. And if I have to go through the legal recourse of suing you, and I have to press criminal charges in order to get that to stick, so be it. That's one. Two, if you're going to say you the bad man and your response is because you talk shit, it's on site, I'm gonna get you. Jumping me isn't the same thing as saying on site, I saw him, I ran up on him, I squared up and fucked him up and then left. It's I saw him, I ran up with all my boys, we jumped him. And when the nigga took off run, we called him pussy because he's not going to stand here and fight all of us instead of getting jumped.
Boys never put hands on Kobe, correct?
No,
I mean, at least, again,
he took off before they could.
Well, and I said this before. Has there been any videos of the incident itself? Has there been any videos of the incident itself?
No, they haven't. I don't think they would be. I think so once it came
the only word we have is Kobe's word on what he believed happened in the incident.
I think there's supporting evidence as far as from the police have released stuff, but they haven't released.
The police only have statements from Kobe, but it's only a statement from Kobe.
Statements from witnesses, but they haven't corroborated his statement, but they haven't shown any video evidence or audio evidence to support it yet.
The thing that got me is just because Masvidal was with niggas, I don't necessarily believe he was going to jump Kobe because usually fighters roll around with people with them. And I guess he didn't think Kobe would be as stupid to be in Miami in a restaurant by himself without a bodyguard. So I don't think they were going to jump Kobe. I don't think they were going to jump him. I can't.
The only word that was that Kobe, and this was Kobe's statement, allegedly Kobe's statement because he didn't put his own name on there for some reason or another. But he said other guys approached him aggressively, which is a very vague, and we don't know exactly what that meant. We have no clue. And we know how
kind of sound like he snuck in and he got snuck in and he just ran. That's just my opinion.
I don't know, but my thing is, I don't think we know. Like, it is assumed that this one side of the story is what happened, and I don't think we know the full scope of everything yet. So I just want to go. I want to wait until I at least get a little more finality of the story, a couple more sides, like just something else that's like, all right, this is from this, and this, all these different ones. This is what we know, and this is what happened. That's my only thing with that. Because I'm sorry, I'm going to be real. A white guy saying some minorities approached me aggressively doesn't do enough for me.
Agree.
That's not enough for me to say he was about to get jumped and they were about to fuck him up. I need a little more than that. And it could be the case, but I need more than just Kobe's words saying someone approached him aggressively for me to say they was about to jump him.
All right, so we can take off the jump and turn into an alleged jump. Nonetheless, Jorge snuck him. Can we agree to that?
Yes.
Right. So we're gonna say on some real sneak shit, on some real street shit. If someone comes up to you and say, "Oh, this nigga was talking shit about me and my kids," so I saw him coming out the store, I didn't even say nothing to him. Just ran up, boom, rocked him. But if they press it, if that sounds cool. But if they lead it up with saying like, "Oh, so me and him fought before, and when we squared up, he beat my ass. We got paid to fight, and he beat my ass in front of everybody on the international stage." And then so
they squared up and he got his ass beat.
Is that not UFC? Did they not think they both stand there and fight up? Yo, you squaring up, me and you in this ring, we fighting. True or false? He squared up and fought in the ring. Get his ass beat. He got his ass beat on a public platform. Then get shit talk on a public platform. And it's like, yo, I'm just gonna sneak this nigga the first chance I get.
In a competition with rules, correct?
Doesn't matter. You have the opportunity.
Yes, it does matter.
All right. So, question, what did Kobe do? What did Kobe do? And when he hit that he not Kobe. What did Jorge do when he hit Kobe that he couldn't have done in the ring? That the rules would have stopped. Let me know. Malik.
Just
no, I'm just asking. You're saying
like
because
ground shit.
I'm saying
this shit that you can't do. Like fuck the stand up because it was a wrestling match.
I'm saying did Jorge run up on him and like pull out a knife and brass knuckles and try and rock him or some shit?
No,
tase him first or something.
You taking my
I'm
point.
saying so.
My point and going. I'm trying to explain to you where the rules come in. Is that there's certain shit you can do on the ground and there's certain shit that you can't. So if this was a street fight, I can't sit here and be like, yeah, I fought the nigga in the octagon. There's also arguments where, yeah, I tried to fight the nigga, but he just held me the whole time. There's the same. So I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, well you got your ass beat. Like that's not how I look at the fight. I feel like Kobe won the competition and he won it handily, but I think he did that shit by wrestling. He didn't do that by fighting. That's my point.
He won the competition by competition rules. But I would say that he agreed to street rules afterwards. Because Jorge said it's on site and Kobe said it's on site.
And Kobe knows what on site means.
Like Kobe didn't back away from a street confrontation after the fight. He brought that on. He did. It wasn't just a one-sided Jorge saying this.
Again,
Kobe brought that on. So when you bring that on, like I'm not. Yes, Jorge could have approached it better in the street and squared up. Yes, but you agreed to street confrontation, which means you're agreeing to no fucking rules and whatever happens, happens.
Right, and the thing is this. Now, this is the problem that people are having. What happened to Jorge is part of whatever happens, and people are saying that's not fair. Jorge shouldn't be going to jail because he committed all these. He did these things that constitute a crime, but he shouldn't be held accountable because we like the way he committed this crime. We like the reasons for him committing this crime, even though we recognize this is a crime. True or false? Is that what you guys are saying? He committed a crime.
Deserve to be.
Yeah,
no,
that's
no.
No, I don't think we didn't say that.
Okay,
we're saying that Kobe brought this on as much as Jorge did.
Nah,
Kobe agreed to this.
I never hold another man accountable for another man's actions. That's preposterous. I can't tell you because I said this to you. You could not be man enough to have self-control that you decided to act irrational. That's not my fault.
You're saying that you're bringing it like fault. You're bringing this on. You are agreeing. Like I said, you said it's on site.
You didn't back away.
You brought on the possibility.
You can't act rational enough to handle being on site and getting away with it.
It's on site is not rational.
Okay,
that's
so Kobe, like no, because you gotta hold that same argument for Kobe.
Oh, I agree. You
gotta hold the same Kobe did not have to say it was on site. He did not have to say that.
He didn't. But what
He's
Kobe
agreed
did
to
that was
irrational
different.
terms.
What
He
Kobe did-
agreed to irrational terms.
But
Is
did
what I'm
Kobe
saying.
act
Like,
irrational? That's the question. Did he act
he
irrational?
didn't have the chance to.
To me, to be honest with you, yeah, he acted irrational.
Where?
Yeah.
Explain. Articulate.
He knows who Masvidal is, so you agreeing to something that you know is going to fucking happen. Yes, you irrational. Yes.
But vice versa. When
What do you mean vice versa?
The minute Masvidal backed out of the fight with Leon Edwards and took the fight with Kobe.
See, me and you have a disagreement on him
Nah,
backing out because of Kobe.
Okay, whatever. We already agreed to disagree on that. I'm not changing that.
Cool.
At all.
All right, cool. Corey, what's your opinion on that?
I have to look more into the specifics on that.
Yeah.
My first thought on that is he left a smaller money fight for a bigger money fight.
Right, which is fine. But you recognize everyone who's fought Kobe in the last few years recognize Kobe's mouth running. He's doing everything he can to get under the fighter's skin.
So
and raise
because
the
he's
thing. Now
done
hold on. And Jorge knows who Kobe is. He knows Kobe is going to do everything in his power to promote a fight. Everyone's admitted the second best person in UFC history at promoting their fights. Number one, Conor. Number two, Kobe.
I'd put
Kobe
Sonnen ahead of Kobe, but that's
you said put who?
I'd argue Chael Sonnen right there as well. But
Yes,
he's in that conversation.
Right.
He's in that
but
conversation.
you understand where it's like, yo,
that.
remember Vanderlei was coming at him too because it's like, yo, I got tired of you talking crazy. It's like, yo, bro, but that's part of the promo skit, the promotion thing. You gotta understand, we have to sell this fight. I don't have any issues with you right now. I'm trying to do this training while you coming over here like this. Go back the fuck up. And it's you can't reward people for not being educated. You want to be an educated fighter. You want to be the smart guy. And by educated fighter, I mean like you're fighting smartly. And part of fighting smartly is one of those things of saying, hey, I know when I can have a confrontation and when I cannot. I know when someone's trying to get under my skin and when someone is just trying to fuck with me. I have to recognize that sometimes in order to win a confrontation is to not engage the confrontation. Jorge was in a lose-lose situation the minute he ran up on him. That's it.
I fundamentally disagree with the idea that by being a professional fighter, I just have to subject myself to these guys are going to say whatever in the name of promotion. That's where I fundamentally disagree.
And plus, I kind of
don't agree with that.
I kind of agree with that if the parties didn't know each other. Then your point would hit. That's my point. Like, you're making a good point for what can be acceptable in a different scenario.
The Khabib McGregor fight wouldn't have been anything if there wasn't that controversy behind it. And that's the truth. No one giving a fuck about it. That would have been one of the lowest drawing fights. Besides,
it would have still been a high drunk fight because it was Conor and Khabib was building a popularity.
It
wouldn't have been as big as it was, but it still would have been a big fight.
It would have been. It would just been. This is what it would have been. It would have been a surprisingly good card. It'd be like, oh, this is a fight that just blew people out the water, but not too many people did a buy-in. But it has a lot of replay value. That's how it.
Here's the thing: nobody said Conor was good for doing that shit. Like,
no, I'm not.
Khabib still took that shit to a personal level. Like,
right. And the thing was, Conor said too, like, yo, look, I was just doing the promotion. That's it.
But that's for him, and that's the difference. You can't expect everybody to just abide by these same promotional rules because there are no set promotional rules. So you can't say, well, I'm just going to sit. For some people, this is untouchable. This is untouchable. You don't go. This is beyond the lines of promotion.
And Kobe knew that's the point.
Because there's a personal relationship with him.
Kobe knew what not to say. Like, you could promote the fight. You don't have to say shit that you know is going to bring somebody across the line outside of the octagon. You knew that shit was going to happen outside of the octagon. You made the choice.
I'm not holding Kobe accountable for Jorge's actions. Jorge made a lot of choices that night leading up to everything 100. Leading up to after he heard what he said. Every action and step he took after isn't based. I'm not holding Kobe accountable for.
We disagree there too.
I'm not holding Kobe accountable because Jorge got in his feelings. That takes a complete agency away from that man.
But by saying that takes everything out of like Kobe had nothing wrong to do by saying
No.
When you
Kobe,
say, because
listen.
you're saying Jorge got in his feelings as if he didn't have a reason to be
Whether or
pissed
not
off
he
because
has a
Kobe,
reason to be pissed off or not, that's not the point. The point being is you, as a man, as someone says something that pissed me off, it is my choice whether or not to react. Whether or not I get mad or not, you can feel how
Absolutely.
you feel. But if I
Absolutely.
react, that's my fault 110%, because now I just gave someone who was trying to piss me off the response they wanted.
So let me
I
ask you a
lose
question.
instantly.
Okay, that's cool. So let me ask you a question real quick. When we asked you if you have any sympathy for Kobe, you said no. Why don't you?
I don't, because sympathy implies that I say, hey, you doing this means that you were not, there was no chance that someone could react negative to this. He knew this is a possible repercussion, but at the same time, him having a game plan of, well, if he attacks me, I'm just going to call the cops. That's not bad, because that's legally his recourse. I'm not expecting someone who's a porch motherfucker to suddenly become a street nigga. There's no point in that.
So
then
no
don't
point
talk
in
street nigga shit.
And
But
no,
that's the point.
But you
can't be.
You can be mad at porch niggas as much as you want. You can be mad at people sitting on the porch as much as you want. But you have to recognize, if I go after this dude on the porch and the cops come and arrest me, and then I'm suddenly saying like, yo, you a pussy because I knew you were going to call the cops and I went after you anyway.
That's why I say both are wrong.
So how is Kobe not? So how is Kobe not accountable for anything?
No. Kobe's accountable in the sense Kobe deserves to get his fucking tooth knocked out and get punched in the face. He did. At the same time, Jorge knew, hey, if I can't do this in the ring and I do this in the streets, I can go to jail. And he said, fuck it, going to jail's worth this risk. I don't feel bad.
But that's why.
I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel
but that's why
sympathy for either person.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say both parties are culpable. That's my thing, is saying
they're
both
both accountable for their own actions.
Both wrong.
I'm not saying saying Kobe's wrong for antagonizing Jorge. Jorge's wrong for allowing Kobe's antagonization to get to him, instead of saying, I'm gonna use his antagonization to get to a fucking bag to whip his ass in the ring and get paid for it. He could have. Listen, we've seen plenty of people almost fucking, like, remember, Usman hit this nigga Jorge super fucking hard, reset that nigga shit. He had his chin touch the opposite side of his shoulder. He completely hit that nigga with a reset. Jorge had the opportunity to do that to Kobe. He couldn't. So, and then he has another opportunity to say, like, hey, look, I will fuck up Leon Edwards and then fuck him up. I want Kobe. Dana, give me Kobe. If you don't give me Kobe, I will go to Logan Paul and tell Logan Paul, offer this motherfucker enough money.
That's not positive. But that's not plausible.
But that's what Nate Diaz is doing that right now. So what are we saying?
Nate Diaz is trying to get up, and Nate Diaz also only.
No, Nate Diaz is trying to get out of contract.
He only has one fight left on his contract.
Yeah,
he's trying to get out of contract.
Hurry up and give me this fight. I got shit to do. Hurry up or just fucking release me.
Right.
But he only has one fight left on his contract. Masvidal has a long-term. Masvidal has a long-term contract.
Well, I'm saying, so we agree that people can push.
He just signed a new one, actually.
People can push for a fight. That's contract's about to be done.
No, you can't. You can't void that.
I think on the UFC side they're about to do some changes.
They can't.
I don't think they will.
Can't, Gino.
Is ironclad even if he goes to jail?
I'm not saying it's ironclad. I don't think he's going to jail.
Check that.
No one. I don't think he's going to jail. Personally, we'll see.
Just because I did a little bit of research on that, and the way me and Corey talked about it before you got up here. There's been a lot of fighters that's done some fucked up shit. Like, they should have got rid of John Jones then.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
whether or not they get rid of him doesn't negate the fact that they have the right to exercise it if it's within his contract.
No, they can't. There's not. There's. Trust me. He's an independent contractor. They have to treat him. That's how you would treat an employee. He's not an employee. He's an independent contractor. They do have a code of conduct. You are correct.
Right. If he violates the code of conduct, then they should be able to.
I don't think they will.
They're not. But here's the thing. There's something with the code of conduct blurs the lines of him being an independent contractor, so that's the reason why they don't do anything about it. You get what I'm trying to say, Gino?
Yeah, I probably read the contract itself to see that.
The UFC still tries to protect themselves because fighters are trying to get a union and shit. So it's kind of a way that UFC protects themselves so they can keep them being independent contractors. You know what I'm saying? Like
so
that's
their
just
things don't shed as much. I mean, even though it still does, these things don't represent us as the UFC as a company. They're their own individuals. But even though they're UFC fight, it's all legalese and legal terms.
Right. It's stupid. You're right though. You're right. But
we're trying to pull up Eddie Alvarez's contract to see something.
Just your way, point. Like that's why there won't be most likely there's not going to be any repercussions on the UFC side when it comes to Jorge Masvidal.
I don't. I see too much. The UFC, if they feel like they can make money off of them and they can use anything for promotion. We've seen other incidents that have been used for promotion. Just popped up in my head now. John Jones, Daniel Cormier fight at the fucking stare down. Like, that's a bad look. You're supposed to, like, that's a bad look. That shit was played every fucking 5 minutes on every goddamn promotional tool that they could fucking use to sell that shit. If they feel like they can make money off of this shit, if they feel like, look, he's the real one, this is why he was the BMF champion, and that's why he's the BMF, they're going to use that shit. I don't see them actually getting out of it.
If someone, this is one of those situations where it says it's, if you look at the legality of it, if someone says, hey, this person causes a tort injury, they fucked up my money somehow, some way, and I decide to take legal action, and they automatically say, hey, I'm suing UFC because you guys this is your event. You guys are supposed to be accountable for this. You guys didn't provide proper security, XYZ. While that may ban you as a fighter, that is still within your legal right. And just because
they don't have to provide security for you. You're an independent contractor.
No, you actually have to. That's workplace safety laws. You can't
say in the workplace though.
Right. Yeah, if I'm in your arena.
Yeah.
If I'm in an arena and I'm under a UFC contract, there's a UFC event. UFC plastered over every entrance, more or less. UFC is responsible for the security and the safety of all employees.
Agreed. Within the building, within the venue.
So if Leon Edwards say, hey, you know what? This guy sucker punched me. I'm pressing charges. And I'm suing UFC and naming them as co-defendants within this lawsuit. UFC cannot say no. We are completely. It's like, well, he's your subcontractor. He's your employee at this moment for this contractual thing. These guys are other employees who came and attacked him, right? Yeah. So this is a workplace assault. You're now coupled. You're now legally were supposed to provide certain things. You did. The fact that fighters aren't saying that doesn't remove UFC's legal requirement to do so. If someone decides to say, hey, I'm going to sue you for this, whatever state they decide to sue them in, they can easily say, hey, you have to pay back penalties for all fighters who were previously under your contract because you didn't provide these securities.
Yeah, but that's only if it happens on UFC grounds.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So,
that doesn't fit this particular incident.
No, not necessarily. You're right. But I was saying, as far as you were bringing up, as far as promoting other fights and stuff like that. Yeah. So if they're promoting stuff from people being attacked within their buildings and they're sharing this on TV, like that's every time someone sees that, yo, you're giving me PTSD, I'm suing the fuck out of you, and they can win. There's nothing they can do about that.
Well, they're not going to do that in this case because there's no video of the incident itself anyway. Right. But they can still use it in the promotion of it. They can still say that's the different. BMF guy is back. They can still use it to their event.
They can use public records like that. And that's fine.
But
when you're captured with cameras that say UFC on it, it's not public records.
Yeah, of course. I think my main thing is just where promotion and trash talk needs to go. And to me, I feel like there is to me, if you want to talk about someone as a fighter, you ain't shit, you're trash. Your stand-up's trash. I'm gonna beat you. We get in this cage, I'm gonna beat you. No, your camp ain't shit. Like I beat your boy, already beat them. All that's fine to me. I don't care. But when you take things to outside of octagon stuff, outside of cage stuff, you are opening up the possibility of other things outside of the cage happening. And yes, as professional fighters, you would prefer them to have more control over their actions. And you're right, like these are individual people. You're professional. You want to hope that they act this certain way. At the same time, everyone has a line that you can't,
No, I got that one. I'm saying I got that one.
I do. In their contracts, I do think there is something in their contract that they can't fight outside of the octagon too.
Right.
I think so. But that's only when a fight is signed for each other. That's only during that time period. So they can do something if you're at the presser and you fight. Yes, the UFC can do something about it. They can dock your pay.
Fine and dock your pay.
They can do all of that shit. Yes, they can.
If I'm not mistaken, they find Conor when Conor was throwing them cans at Diaz.
At Diaz.
If I'm not mistaken, I feel like he got fined.
That's when the UFC can do something about that. That's when you're right.
I think overall there's a certain level of disconnect between people accepting the fact that, like, look, you are engaged in a type of circus and you don't want to play a part of the clown, but you're wearing all the makeup and you're wearing the shoes.
Can I ask you, does the line of... Well, I'll ask this. Where does the line of professionalism end? Because we're saying fighters need to act professionally when these other... Like, I would say talking about someone's kids, talking about someone's religion is not acting in a professional manner.
All right,
so why are we...
All right. Just hear me out. Can he say something to Dana and say, hey, Dana, I don't want him doing this? Yes or no?
Dana's going to be like, I can't control what he do.
Yeah.
He says that shit.
Why not? Because there's nothing in the contract that's against this. There's nothing I can do to enforce this. This is something where I can't say he's not acting professional because his profession isn't being a nice person. True or false? Kobe's profession is to be Jorge's friend and say nice things about Jorge?
He didn't say about saying that. He was talking about keeping it within fighting things.
Right. No, I'm saying I'm asking that. Is that his?
No, it's not.
His profession.
But if we're going to say we're acting professional, we're not talking about professional things. You're talking about personal things.
Right.
So
his profession is
about talking on.
He's a professional fighter. He's a professional fighter. He cannot. My job is I have to fight. But I fight in a controlled environment at particular times when I'm getting paid to fight or when I'm training for a fight, not random fights. I've elevated beyond amateur shit. I'm a pro now. This is what pro does. Being a professional basketball player means, hey, I don't go just down the block and play pickup games all day. I recognize that there's a huge injury risk and there's a certain level of skill for combatants. Even if I feel, hey, I'm nice, and I see Kobe Bryant got RIP, and I'm like, yo, me and you right now, one-on-one, if I'm a professional in the NBA and my team sees me playing him on the street, they can easily come up to me and say, like, motherfucker, you're violating your contract, right? That's not professional. You understand there's certain levels of, at certain sports, there's professional actions I must take. There's a certain level of, I don't do my job for free. He did his job for free and got penalized for it. He's now a professional fighter because he wanted to be a street fighter again. That's it. You can't say I'm a pro fighter and I'm running sucker punching people. What's the professionalism in that?
I asked the same question about, I get what you're saying.
Like, I can't be mad. I understand the fury of Kobe. I'm not justifying Kobe's actions in the sense.
It's not just a Kobe thing.
It's just to me, wild reckless on social medias.
It's just, to me, you're expecting professionalism in certain aspects and not professionalism in other aspects. There's plenty of sports, like, people get looked down upon in all sports for saying all these certain things and doing all that stuff that you can do, and we sit there and we go, like, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. That's crossing the line. And to me, this is crossing. We're expecting professionalism in the reaction, but not professionalism in the initial action. If we're going to be professional all around. I'm not saying you got to be nice and be their brothers, but saying I'm going to whoop your ass when we get in this cage is a lot different than you're a deadbeat dad. That's completely different lines. It's completely different avenues. And it has nothing to do with your ability or his ability as a fighter or to beat them.
I'm not denying that part. But what I'm saying is, what does that have to do with Jorge not being able to stay a professional fighter and turn into a street fighter? If someone can use words to get you to drop a six-figure bag, that's insane. Just hear me out. Someone can use words and you drop a six-figure bag. How are you a professional in anything?
I think everyone has a line. I think everyone has a line. I think everyone has a line that doesn't.
He literally had the ability to say, I can fight this. I can get paid to fight this guy who violated me. And couldn't do that.
There's been people who fought before and still don't fuck with each other after the fact.
Right, it's cool, but what I'm saying is, if you have the opportunity to continue whooping this person's ass and you're not exploring that avenue and get paid to do it, as a professional, That's wild. Like, if I hate someone and I have the opportunity to whip their ass and get paid to do it because it's my job, I'm going to lean into try and get in that as hard as possible instead of saying I'm going to run and sucker punch them and fuck up getting paid on forward and forward. There's a certain level of disconnect.
And there's another thing that me and you disagree at is the point that he would have had the opportunity to make a bag off of another ass whooping.
That was going to be my next one as well.
That's not. I seriously doubt Kobe takes another fight with Masvidal. Like that's not.
It's a zero-sum gain for Kobe, and I don't know why the UFC would want to book that fight. So I don't.
I'll be real. This is the truth. Jorge, say the next fight Jorge says is like, yo, I'll take Leon Edwards, whether he wins or loses. I want Leon Edwards next, right? Leon Edwards gets squashed by fucking Usman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usman versus Masvidal. Masvidal wins. He's either fighting the number 1 or number 2 fighter. So either he's fighting Gilbert Burns, Usman if he's still the champion, or he's fighting Kobe if Kobe's still number 2, number 1, number 2, number 3. Kobe can say, oh, I don't want to fight him, and they can say, okay, cool. Jorge's fighting for the championship. Jorge's now can say, I hold the belt, motherfucker. You have to come fight me. There are plenty of opportunities. That's what I'm saying. There's no long-term thought from Jorge.
That would have been a long-term thing because
that's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying about the long-term. There was no long-term.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think Jorge has long-term fighting left in him. He's 37.
Right, but that's.
There's no. I don't think there was any route to another. He's not getting another. He's lost to Usman twice. He's not getting that fight again. He just got beat convincingly by. So like his fights, the only fights he had available, which were all big money fights, quite frankly. If he does not go to prison, which I don't believe he will, I still think he has 3 fights available to him, maybe 2, because I don't know what the Nate Diaz is. I don't know what the Nate Diaz thing is. The Leon Edwards fight is still available. If he doesn't go to jail, the Leon Edwards fight is still there for him. I promise you that.
I know.
And I promise you that the Conor McGregor
fight. Leon's about to fight Usman, right?
And he's going to get his ass. Yeah, well, Masvidal was going to have to take some time off anyway. So, Leon, assuming, let's hypothetically say Usman, who will be heavily favored in that fight, beats Edwards. That Masvidal fight is there. That Edwards Masvidal is still, it's definitely the best fight that Leon could make if he loses to Usman. It's not even close. He doesn't have another fight that comes close to that. The next thing would be him to smoke Kobe. That would be the best thing he could do. The biggest money fight he would have would be against Masvidal, and that would be the bigger story.
Money versus career? The best thing. I'm
talking like the biggest.
Smoke the only person who came close.
I'm saying as far as stature.
The whole thing is
what would get the most eyeballs. What would get the most eyeballs would be the Masvidal fight. Yeah, it would.
I agree.
And also, I think Masvidal, and I think Masvidal would still have the Conor fight if they wanted to do that. I still think that would get a ridiculous amount of attention.
So Gino, basically, what you're saying is Masvidal should have had the thought process that he should have just went ahead and fought Leon.
I think he should have fought Leon first.
Yeah, you should have went ahead, but that we can't put. He should have fought Leon first. We get that. You're talking about his road to redemption against getting his revenge with Kobe. You say that you feel like he should have fought the Leon Edwards fight, won the Leon Edwards fight,
and
then have an opportunity against Kobe after that.
This is all you do. Say he knocks, like you go into that. This is all saying witchcraft. Everything goes 100% in Jorge's favor right now. Okay, Jorge goes in that ring, does like a Ben Askren, knocks him out in fucking few seconds, and as soon as Askren's like, "Yo, Kobe, get your ass in here. I want you. Dana's making that fight.
No, Kobe's still saying no.
Kobe could say no, and then Dana could say you're only fighting. You're losing the number 2 spot. You're not getting another shot at the belt. Because Kobe could say, I can beat every contender. I want my shot at Usman, and I'm the closest person to beating him.
No, Dana's already said that Kobe needs to win a few.
Yeah, but I'm saying if Kobe says that, it's Kobe now. Now you're saying Dana is saying, Kobe, you have to fight other fighters.
Yeah, that's what he's out.
If he says like, yo, hey, the number 2 fighter, the person next in line to fight the champion wants to fight you.
Just because he beats Leon does not make Masvidal number 2.
Kobe will go up. Well, Kobe's not gonna fight Unless Kobe fights this guy, he's not going up in rankings. Gilbert Burns, if Gilbert Burns smokes Conor McGregor when he comes back, that Gilbert Burns is going up. Oh no, I'm not. Who's fighting?
Wait, I'm like, he's not fighting. Is he fighting Luke?
He's fighting that. He was supposed. He was saying. No, I think he's fighting. Yeah, that dude. If he smokes him,
that's right.
He goes up in standings essentially. So it's going to be the top 5 fighters is very small. There's a very small amount of people left. Everybody's pretty much fought that needs to interfight.
Usman's beaten everybody except for Khamzat.
Yeah, and Khamzat's not. I don't think Khamzat should be fighting him because Khamzat has how many top 5 fighters has he fought?
That's not going to be an option. If Khamzat beats Gilbert Burns,
they're giving him the title fight.
They're giving the title.
They are giving him the title. That's
going to happen.
Well, he's going to fight Leon. He's got Leon. They pretty much said he's going to fight Leon first, right?
Yeah, he's going to fight Leon.
Yeah, and then like if Khamzat beats Gilbert, then Khamzat's getting that top shot.
I don't know.
Yeah, he is. He's
because
he's getting the title shot
because you can't put it. He's already beat everybody. You're not putting.
That's the point.
Yes, fight record.
Yeah, he's lapping niggas at this point. Like there's nobody else for him. Like. He could fight Gilbert Burns again. He only fought him once, but that's pretty much it. Like he's
Kobe twice. He beat Edwards already. I think it's just another.
Yeah, he beat Edwards already.
He beat Edwards way earlier. When the fuck did Bilal Muhammad get to number 5?
Who?
Bilal Muhammad is currently number 5 at welterweight. I don't know
he is.
Who beat Leon?
Usman beat Leon earlier in their career years ago.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cosmo. I was like, yo, bro, no. The last dude. I don't think he's fought anybody who's been in the top 10.
The only other one, like that's why I wanted.
Who's the top 10 ranked fighter he's fought? Who's the top 10 ranked fighter he's fought?
Khamzat?
Yeah.
He ain't fought nobody.
No, his last fight didn't he fight a top 10?
No, he fought Li Jiangliang. Didn't he?
Yeah, he beat Lee. He was top
15. Yeah, my bad.
Top 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird that they're giving him a top 5 fight.
Because there's nobody. There's no like.
Yeah, there is people. There's a whole grip of people. You know, there's 15 fighters that he hasn't qualified.
You got his build up. His build up is crazy. They're not going. They're not going by the ranking system. His build up is.
And this is what happened to the Cyril Gane, where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have you squash a few cans, and then you're gonna fight someone who you stylistically match up against beautifully. You're gonna fight the champion and then get decimated.
The same shit happened to Conor. Conor beat Dennis Seaver in the fight before his fucking title fight. Conor didn't fight nobody like that. But if you have momentum behind you and you have that kind of buzz, which Khamzat does have, they're going to give you. He doesn't have it to the level of Conor, but he has a huge buzz behind him, and people know who the fuck he is.
Didn't Conor beat Poirier? Didn't he beat Max?
Poirier was not. They were not huge, high-ranking guys.
You said nobody. I'll just name.
No. I mean, as far as rankings wise. Wise, Conor didn't beat two or three top 10 guys before he got a title shot.
Right, but he fought at least one.
Who?
Didn't he fight at least one, or am I mistaken?
Nah, I think they just shot him straight up to Aldo. It's pretty much the same situation.
Or like they're highly touted now. Max is highly touted now. Max wasn't Max then. Poirier is highly touted now, but Poirier wasn't Poirier then. You know what I mean? Like
he fought Chad Mendes. What was Chad Mendes' record?
That was but that was supposed to be the Aldo fight, and Aldo got hurt, and Mendes was the last second replacement. That's when he won the interim belt. That was that's what that was. He didn't beat top guys. It was just his buzz was so big. They gave him the Seaver fight, if I'm not mistaken, was in Ireland. And they gave him off of that. He jumped into it. That's what it was. Okay, so I mean basically Ireland, US. he fought him in Ireland, US, and then he jumped in Aldo's face after he won that fight. And that's where they gave him the title fight. Like, it's not everyone. Usman had to beat a bunch of people before he got a fight. Some people have to do that shit and beat a bunch of people. But if you have the buzz, they'll move you up. It happened low key. It happened to Francis. He only beat out Overeem. His one was Overeem. Overeem was like the main guy, and then he knocked Overeem head into the orbit, and then he got a title fight. Stipe beat him, and then he had to rebuild after that, and then he fought a couple other guys. He beat Junior. He beat Rosenstrike, and he beat a couple guys after that. But initially, he didn't. Shit. Fucking Stylebender didn't. Stylebender got his title fight after Silva. And then it was the interim title fight with Gastelum.
I don't know. He was knocking out a whole bunch of people beforehand.
Not nobody big names. He did
Curtis
not have
Blades.
big names.
Curtis Blades was like the biggest.
Blades was borderline, like top 10 maybe. Like if they feel like you have the buzz.
Nah, Curtis Blades was top 5.
Yeah.
At the first time he beat him, or the second time he beat? The second time he was. I don't think Curtis.
The first time he beat Curtis. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was on a. Let's see, one.
He was on a win streak.
He fought him. He had won pretty much 10 fights in a row.
Yeah, he was on a win streak, but they weren't names. Is what I'm saying.
He was clapping niggas.
But it wasn't names. He wasn't fighting highly ranked guys. It was Overeem.
He got Kimura against well, no, he beat a former champion. He beat a former heavyweight champion too before Overeem. Arlovsky.
Arlovsky was going through something at that time.
Yeah, but I'm saying he KO'd him.
Yeah, because Arlovsky was losing everything around that point.
I'm not denying
Arlovsky. We know Arlovsky ain't got no chance.
Yeah.
I love Arlovsky. He is one of my favorite heavyweights of all time. We know damn well Arlovsky could get knocked out by fucking.
He was on a three loss streak right there.
Yeah.
Well, it turned into a lot longer. Yeah. But he might have got, like, he was not beating top ranked fight. Overeem was the highest ranked fighter he got, and that's why he got the title shot off of it. Stylebender was not. No. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he lose the championship to Stipe? He was.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. His first title shot. His build to his first title shot.
No, I'm talking who did Stipe win to beat him get the championship?
He beat Verdum.
All right.
But yeah, UFC don't go according to rankings.
They don't. If they feel like someone's got a buzz and they can be a star, they'll push him up into that.
Yeah, because he beat this guy and then he went for the championship fight. Like as soon as he beat Arlovsky, Stipe went for the belt. So I don't know. I'm not calling Arlovsky like just a watch fighter when a champion had to beat him to get to the championship fight, if that makes sense.
But okay, but like on that same point, Adesanya beat Silva before he got his first title fight, and Silva was not Silva then. Like it's a great name, and that was a great moment, and that was a fun fight to watch.
That fight was it wasn't. That fight looked horrible.
I enjoyed that fight.
That fight.
I enjoyed that fight. I'm not saying it was the most action-packed fight, but I enjoyed that fight. But like it's
the torch type.
It was just it was more so a moment. It wasn't amazing.
Silva knew it. So
like I'm not going back to watch it like I'm going back to watch Robbie Lawler or Carlos Condit or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like no, it's not that. But it was a moment, and I enjoyed that moment. But Adesanya didn't beat a bunch of people leading up to that. And Silva was well past his prime then, but he catapulted from that Silva fight to I think it was supposed to be
but he also had
got hurt.
You can't forget that he had like an outside the UFC professional fight record.
Absolutely. But who did he beat leading up to it? But all it is that's all I'm saying is you have a buzz and you have a following and we have the feeling that you could be a star, we can make a star out of you. They will push you into title fights without necessarily going on that long road that other fighters have had to go through.
Yeah, it's because the situation with Khamzat is everybody's talking about Khamzat.
It is.
And all of the fighters are talking about Khamzat. Like, yo, this nigga is the real deal. Like, he has there's a lot, Gino. Like, it's not just like it's a couple of people from his camp or anything. It's a lot of fighters saying, nah, this dude is legit. So there's two sides. He got the buzz, and then he has the support from the fighters. The fighters don't think he needs to fight anybody outside of the top 5.
And I'll be real, there's a lot of times fighters have said that about people and then watch them people get burnt, crushed.
Absolutely.
And
they'll get that shot.
Real talk, I think there's a certain level of you need to protect fighters like as if you protect their investment. Where it's like, yeah, you're a good fighter, but if we want
UFC's never done that.
UFC has a horrible ranking system. That's like they've actually been called out in court by Congress, where it's like UFC championships do not constitute an actual championship because there's not a ranking system behind it. This is just someone saying who's the most popular fighter at this time. That's it.
Islam's high. Islam hasn't who's Islam's best win? If we're being in fairness, he was supposed to fight Dariush, and that was beyond his control, and ends up being Bobby Green instead of Dariush. But who's the best win is Dan Hooker.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna say Dan Hooker was a bad fighter. We're not doing that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No.
But that's my point. Is he's not a bad fighter, but he's also not a top tier. It has been proven now, and me and Malik were talking about this before we got on air. Dan Hooker is just not at that top level. You can justify his losses have all come to the top guys. It's Michael Chandler, it's Dustin Poirier, it's Islam, and now a new prospect, 18-1, Arnold Allen just knocked him out. Like, he's just not at that top level. He's a very good above average fighter, but he ain't at that top level.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of been proven because he doesn't have his best win is Paul Felder, who was the king of really good, but not quite at that top level of fight.
Also, I just checked up the UFC contracts. They can cut you if you're incarcerated, suspended, or disabled, sick, injured for any reason, or if your license has been revoked by an athletic commission, you have the ability to travel restricted by a government agency, or is otherwise unable, unwilling, or refuses to compete or train for a bout for any reason whatsoever, including without limitation, not approving an opponent designated by Zuffa. Zuffa is the UFC. So, essentially, like I said,
Zuffa does wait. Whoa.
That's designated by Zuffa.
That's an old Zuffa doesn't own the UFC anymore. That's an old contract. What I would say,
whose contract is this? This is Alvarez's contract.
Yeah, because Zuffa, it's WME owns now. So even going off that to an extent, because I'm sure there's not major differences within the contracts now. Basically, he would have to get jail time for it.
Or you can just get his if they have a fight in a certain area and they say,
I don't think they're going to get his licenses. I don't think his good license is going to get revoked for it personally by athletic commission because all that shit is money based anyway. For being real, a lot of these athletic commissions ain't shit. It's all about money. I don't think. I think unless he gets actual jail time for an extended period, and even then it has to be an extended period. If it's like, he's got a 30-day jail time, which will be converted to house arrest or some shit like that. I don't think
he's fine.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on what they go for, and it also depends on what he has on his previous record. Because if he has previous felonies, he can try and say, "Well, this, that, and the fifth." They're like, "Nah, nigga, you already know the law. You know,
then again,
I don't care if you ain't get in trouble in 20 years. This felony is still a felony."
The number one most important thing, is Florida.
Yeah, it's over.
I'm not gonna hold any predictions on what might happen in the state of Florida.
As a Hispanic, I try to tell other Hispanics, you don't just get out of Florida. Florida's not a place. You're in a tropical environment that hates Hispanics. That's wild. Like you gotta know and that's another thing. It's like he's from the city, so he knows Miami is hyperactive in prosecuting street fights. They don't like that shit. This is a tourist town. All tourist towns go out of their way where if you do some shit, we will go out to make an example. Remember that dude from Battle Rap who shot up Times Square? Remember he left New York City. They fucking hunted his ass the fuck down immediately. Like, you're not getting away from here. You attack someone in a tourist area. It's over. You attack someone in the city, one of the cities where there's a lot of famous people like to go and chill. You now make this environment where it's like, you can see something that can be dangerous. And he better hope he gets the right judge.
Yeah, I hear all that. I just still don't.
Yeah. I know you don't. I know it's all right, Malik.
I still don't know. I'm not saying I don't care. It's just that I don't see anything happening to him on that extent. I
think you have to look at what is and not what ifs. Right now, what is he got told, hey, you're facing these felony crimes. You have to be prepared for these. And if you kind of say like, hey, you know what, it could happen. And it's like, he could have not hit the motherfucker and not have to worry about this. But he did, so now he has to worry about this. And the fact is,
we're gonna see. It's he's if it gets moved into first degree battery, it's maximum 30 years. Right now it's second degree, but I believe I said this earlier. It's second degree right now, but in Florida, it can be moved up to first degree if you're wearing some sort of hood or anything to cover your face or conceal your identity, which he allegedly was. So it could be facing 30.
And Florida
30
has
years.
a no face mask rule. They said the face masks aren't required. So him saying he was wearing a face mask for medical reasons is going to get thrown the fuck out. That's going to get tossed hard. And
we're going to see.
And the United States Supreme Court has already ruled on numerous occasions where it's like if you're a professional fighter and you're attacking someone who's an unwilling combatant, you now can get charged with a certain level of you're doing assault with a deadly weapon or assault to cause bodily harm. Is he
considered an unwilling? What makes him an unwilling combatant?
Because mutual combatant laws usually stipulate both people have to be like aware of each other before like the first strike is thrown. So if he's not even aware of you and you threw that first strike, you're no longer engaged in a mutual combatant. You're attacking a defenseless fighter.
That's why. That's why I'm curious, and that's why I want to say.
So like, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot. There's a lot of where it's like, if this is just going off of what Kobe said, Jorge doesn't look good on paper. A lot of things is wrong. Where it's like, this is what I'm saying. As a professional, you know the damage you can cause. How with the things that if. Remember, I told you, Malik, if something goes wrong, let's say he just hits him, Kobe just slips. Like in Injustice, where Damian Wayne throws the fucking the stick back, a scrimper stick back at Nightwing. Nightwing just doesn't happen to turn like he normally does. Hits him, he falls and breaks his neck. Same thing, like, hey, I just threw a punch. He takes 1,000 punches all the time. All it takes is that one punch to cause that CTE, and then it's
one bad fall, head hit the concrete.
Whoa, you just say you're not getting out of this as a regular fight. This is he said some shit about so you killed him with a punch? Oh, I'm the bat, and you was talking crazy afterwards on Twitter. It's over for you, bro. It is over. So you have to treat that's why like the judges are gonna look at it as whether or not you committed a certain degree of this crime, this the intent and possibilities.
That's why I asked what constitutes an unwilling combatant, because I'd say someone basically egging it on and saying, yeah, come see me, it's on site whenever. Like, how unwilling are you? But if what you're saying is, both are aware and then it throws a punch, that's a difference. Yeah, that's why I asked that. And now that's literally where my thought process went was, man said it was on site too. Like, again, this wasn't a one-way shit talking thing. You both said what's good.
Like, I think, like you said, for example, like in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, and I know in Massachusetts, they have mutual combatant laws where it's like, if you two people are fighting and the cops run up and it's like, I agreed to fight him or I agreed to fight him, it's pretty much like, all right, no one can go to jail in this scenario unless there's like extra damage or you're being unruly. Did you finish the fight?
So I just figured something out. We doing all this arguing, and we haven't really seen the tape of what happened. So it's a possibility that Masvidal didn't sneak the nigga.
Absolutely. That's what I said earlier.
So Gino, what if Masvidal didn't sneak the nigga? What if it was on site? I saw you, you saw me, nigga was good, and I'm clipping you.
If he didn't sneak him, then it's nothing. What can I say? I already told you.
We need to take. What did I say?
I said if he snuck him.
Ending the show.
I said if he snuck him, he knew the risk. If he goes to court and the court says like, hey, wait, no, everything Kobe said was a lie. Everything you did was according to the law, and you did it by the numbers. It's nothing. I can't be mad at the nigga. I can't be like, oh, you're unprofessional because you followed the law and did everything and it went according to plan. If it's like, hey, you did everything and everything you did legally is contrary to the fucking law, you're fucked. That's it. There's no
right.
Yeah.
Like if he called him in, like if he just called him and was like, yo, you said it was on site. And Kobe's like, wait, huh? And turned around. Yeah, you said it was on site. And then he snuffs him and rocks his shit.
Yeah.
It's very different. Very different. We don't know, again.
When they said it was Jorge ran up, masked up, and just rocked them, and then started shit talking. And I don't know. I've had a couple of niggas where I told was on site, and I ain't say shit. I just started whooping their ass. There was no words. But they knew it was me because I made sure to feel like, yo. Like that moment of, I want you to
recognize. How you know he didn't do that?
I want you to recognize it's me. I'm not covering my face. I want you to know it's me. I want you to recognize who's fucking you up. because I'm trying to send you a message. I don't want you to think someone else is doing this. There is no misinterpretation. I want when other people to see me in the street fucking you up, they're not like, yo, this random person's fucking up my friend. It's like, yo, oh, Gino's whooping this nigga's ass. This is something this guy deserves.
I want to see the tape.
I want to see the tape too. I'm not saying I don't want to see the tape.
He's talking about the tape of you.
Me whooping? Nah. Me like that. I'm not. Who I look like, Jorge? Bro,
I want to see the tape. Now we need to see the tape.
I really would hope that something comes out somewhere.
But I mean, all jokes aside, I really don't.
We can see it.
I don't want Jorge to go to jail. I don't want anyone to go to jail like that, to keep it a buck. But I definitely think there should be repercussions for his actions. The same way there should be a certain degree of repercussions outside of just Kobe getting his tooth knocked out. But as far as what Khabib was saying, where like people shouldn't be accepting fighters with this guy. I don't think anybody should accept fights between any of the two, to be honest. These two, Kelly they don't understand how to control their actions or their promotional skills to a certain degree. Like, I'll be real, if Khabib were to come back to UFC, I don't think anybody should have fought him. I don't think, period, because it's like, yo, if you win the fight, you're jumping over the crowd to attack someone. If I say something that you don't like, you're going to try and attack me outside of the fight. I don't think you said different, but it's nonetheless true. Same thing with Conor McGregor. It's not about something you don't like. People shouldn't have been accepting fights with Conor McGregor after he threw the chair and the shit to bust windows and injured fighters. It's one of those things where you need to be looking like, hey, as a fellow fighter, I need to worry if this guy is going to do something crazy to me or injure me in a certain way. And the fact that other fighters aren't looking at it like that, but saying it when it's someone they don't like. Versus saying it's for everyone equal. But that's like, there's like, eventually it's the same thing where Ngannou was like, nah, y'all need to treat me like this. And Derek Lewis goes, man, what? He turning down that? I'll fight for that right now. Give me it. That's what happens when it's independent contractors. This is the way their system is set up, is that at the end of the day, each individual is going to have to look out for their individual selves. And with one person, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be like, fuck it. You going to pay me how much? I'm going to take that. And unless there's an actual CBA and an actual union to negotiate certain things around it, that's always going to be the case, because there's always going to be somebody who's going to say, fuck it, I need that money. Yeah. End of the day. Yeah. And like I said, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, if the fighters agree not to fight fighters who are doing extracurricular activities, it's hard for someone to say, hey, the top 10 fighters won't fight this guy. Why won't they fight him? Because he injured these two guys outside of the ring, so they don't even want to give him any money. They don't want to put money in his pocket. That's a big difference. And that forces the promoter to say, we're not going to fight him. We're not going to let him fight.
No. You think I would bet that the UFC would then get pissed at those fighters for turning down the fight.
Right, but
based on previous.
Are you going to scrap a whole division?
You just said in those contracts, and again, those are old contracts, but they can have issues with people turning down approved fighters from the owner.
If everyone if everyone says like, hey, we're all standing by and saying actively we will refuse to fight any of these fights. Like, I guarantee you, the whole division said, hey, we're not fighting Conor McGregor. Period. No one wants to fight Conor McGregor. Oh, well, he's the champion. We don't care. We don't want to fight Conor McGregor. You got to fight the champ. Okay, cool. And my contract right here. I'll go to Pride. I'll go fight in Pride. I'm not fighting Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor would never get a contract. They would put an intern championship. And while he was complaining about his fight, they would have been complaining on Twitter. They've been trying to get him to fight nonstop. But the minute they realize no one's going to fight him, he's dropped. That's the end of the contract.
I think you're speaking on a situation that is impossible.
No, not impossible, improbable. We can agree to that. We can agree to improbable. But we've seen plenty of times in numerous sports where people have done an organized effort to free someone out, and it worked.
But there's not organization in here.
No,
the fighters are not organized. But their fighters aren't in it. They couldn't even get a damn union. They couldn't get more than 10 people to do that. I don't think independent contractors. I just don't think there's always going to be somebody in there that's not going to. I find it very hard to believe that you're going to get the top 10 people in any division to agree on something like that.
Right.
In any division, male or female. I think do not see that
improbable. I say improbable, but all I'm saying is
it would have to be something extreme. It would have to be something extreme in order for that to be the case. And even still, there'd probably be a fighter that would go, I want to fuck him up because he did that bullshit. Put me in there so I can fuck him up and kick him out the UFC myself.
Right. And then I'm saying improbable versus impossible. It's not impossible, it's improbable.
Very, very, very highly improbable.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like if these UFC fighters felt that strongly about the actions that Kobe took, they would freeze him out of the pay. They would say no one's fighting Kobe. If someone possible. No, it's not. It's not that it's not possible.
Because they feel like they could beat Kobe ass. Ain't nobody scared of Kobe.
There's a difference between being scared and saying I'm not trying to. Like, perfect example, The Rock not playing, like doing wrestling with Shawn Michaels. It's not because they didn't put stuff up for him. It's The Rock saying I don't give a fuck about how much money you're putting in my pocket. I don't want to do business with this man. There's a certain level of self-respect and pride where it's like, yo, okay, well, we're going to find something else for you. All right, cool. I'm the hottest person on the market. This guy still is a Hall of Famer, history maker and shit like that. But I'm saying no. I don't want to fight him. I understand the level that this could do for my career, but I don't like him. I don't like anything he stands for. I don't want to put bread into his pocket. That's how much I dislike him. No one in UFC is saying that about any of the fighters. They're willing to say, like, you know what? Like, a fighter who's not fighting is actively saying, yo, no one should fight this guy anymore because, you know, this is dishonorable, this, that, and the fifth, no. Mind you, hey, I want to fight. And the first thing I do is I jump on the cage and I start throwing stuff at someone in the crowd and trying to get him to fight me. You know, it's like, okay, but this seems like premeditated. Yeah. And then, you know, after I beat the guy up, I ran up and started attacking him while everyone else was surrounding him and holding him and stuff like that. And, you know, then me and my friends started trying to attack him in the ring. And it's like, yo, why? Oh, because he talked about my country, my religion, my family. So, you know, I had to make an example out of him. And it's like, did you? Did you really? Because all you showed was that you're not good at winning. That's all you look like. You look like somebody who's bad at winning. Like, you could have beat him and then just been talking smack about him. Afterwards, it's like, yo, I'm going to try and get half shots off on people and half shots on this. And I get it. It made him feel good in the moment. But then now you're saying, yo, you shouldn't support someone who's being attacked because, you know, I like to go out and attack people randomly at times after I feel away. And I should be able to do that too. That's how it comes off. That's how a lot of that's pretty much the same. Like, yo, hey, I want to be able to continue doing the same things. Jorge did what I would have done. So I don't think Jorge's wrong.
Gino, are you a Khabib fan?
No, I don't really care about Khabib. Not to say I don't think he's a great fighter. I think he's a great fighter. I think he quit when he should have stayed in wrestling. He should have stayed in and kept on fighting.
I would have preferred him to continue fighting. I agree with that. I feel like you can't there, especially when people are coming from completely different areas and growing up in completely, like, the way you handle you can't expect everyone to just fall in line with the way we see things and how we feel like they're supposed to be done and how they're supposed to be handled. That man grew up in a different way, in a different area, under different circumstances than anything. And for him, he has felt like these things are off limits, and if anyone insults this area in this fashion, this is how you handle that. I can't tell him he's wrong for that.
I'll be real, and this is the thing. He's in those situations where he's benefited from being around people who just didn't want to press criminal charges. If people were pressing charges on people when they did these actions, it's like, no, I want to prosecute this to the fullest extent of the laws because this person did an illegal activity. I guarantee you Khabib wouldn't feel that way. If it was like, hey, by the way, after I attacked all these people in the ring, everyone that I attacked sued me, and then all the people who my people who were attacking, they all got sued, and now they can't attend any UFC events because they can't get visas and shit are fucked. Suddenly, it's, you know what? I guarantee you he'll be like, I don't think we should be attacking people. I understand, but you should think before you act.
I honestly don't believe that. I honestly believe
Corey,
Khabib would say that's how we handle it. Like, right or wrong.
A lot of niggas ain't saying that from a jail cell. That's all I'm saying.
We arguing with Gino A. Smith up here. I just figured out.
Nah, bro, don't do that.
We arguing with you. This is the same argument I'll be hearing on the air sometimes.
Bro, I don't even watch him, yo. He's not even that entertaining. But, like, keep it a buck, man. You gotta hold people accountable for their actions, and this idea where it's like someone can say something to me that drives me completely out of my agency, and now they have this mesmeric hold over me, and now I can do whatever. Like, bro, nah. Look, if you feel that bad that you need to put hands on that nigga, kill him. If you can't do that, then don't put hands on the nigga. When you're getting paid to put hands on him, you can't do it.
Can't kill a nigga if you're getting paid for it.
No, if you can't, yo, I'll tell you right now, in the UFC, if you wanted to, you could kill a nigga in the ring if you hit him hard enough. There's nothing stopping you.
They'd stop it.
No, bro. There's a couple of people who were like 2 hits away from dying, and it was just there's a couple of times where the fighter looked at the ref like, yo, he's done. He's done. I could kill him right now if that would make you feel better, but this guy's done.
Officiating, and those
right. Uriah Hall almost killed somebody with a fucking. Uriah Hall almost killed that guy with a spinning heel kick. There's plenty of times you could take somebody's fucking head off, and you could really kill somebody if you really putting forth the effort.
Yeah, there's different skill levels for that.
Uriah Hall stopped fighting hard off of that. His whole career took a nosedive because he realized how powerful he really fucking is. Francis almost killed Stipe. I don't give a fuck what anyone said. When I seen Stipe's head snap back like that.
You mean over it? I thought you was going over it.
No, I'm talking about when he was in the ring hitting him with that last, you seen it in his eyes.
Oh, yeah, that last punch. He gave one last fuck you punch. He did.
Yeah, he was like, yo, when he hit him, that whole body collapsed. I thought in my head, like, yo, stop the fight. He's really injured. This is it. Like, the way he was looking on when the ref was talking to him, like, oh, shit. Like,
no, I
was like, yo, you need to be checking this dude's toes right now. Pinch him and make sure he can feel him. It looks like he got his spine severed. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty of people who have those opportunities in the UFC. They don't capitalize on it, and that's fine. But to say now, like, yo, this guy's got me so mad that I can't even hit him hard enough to make him wonder about life, I'm going to sucker punch him, or I'm going to start attacking people outside the ring.
I think that's honestly.
That's a level of agency you willing to say that people.
I think there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people on this earth around the world who all logic and things go out the door when you start mentioning kids. And I don't care how professional you are and what it is. I feel like there's a lot of who just ain't. I don't give a fuck what I am and what it does. Mentioning the kids is bounced for everything to get thrown out of the window, right or wrong. And like, I'm not saying that it always brings those actions to the right, but
there's a certain level of you have to accept that it's not someone else making you do this; it's you doing this.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people are saying this response where it's like, "Oh, yo, if he didn't, he shouldn't have talked about kids if he wasn't expecting this." And it's like, yo, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. It's whether or not you react. I can't hold somebody.
And
that's the disconnect. That's the disconnect that me and you have. And I think this is something we just gonna have to agree to disagree on because we are an hour and 57 minutes in.
That's a fact.
But that's what we disagree on, is because I do understand with people that there's barriers you don't cross. Period. There's barriers that you don't cross. So Kobe crossed those barriers. It's just what it is. So, and it's not like Kobe. If Kobe didn't know this was going to happen, I got you. Kobe knew.
Because that's my point. Close. Because they're so close. They were so close. I mean,
I'm frozen.
We still hear you though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I figured you did that on purpose. I just didn't want to say anything. No. I was going to the private chat to say something.
No. But I get it. I just like I said,
I think that's gonna be a fundamental disagreement.
Yeah, it is. To me, I'm just a fan. Like, there's just lines you don't cross, and there's things like if you say this, I'm not. It's the same way I feel when fans go into athletes and saying so. Like, you wouldn't say this if you didn't feel like you had this kind of protect. Like, it's certain stuff you don't say, and to me, you don't speak on someone's kids if you're not prepared for what may come of that. Right or wrong on the other guys, and it doesn't make it not wrong for the man to respond in the way that he does, because it is like you're opening yourself up to these other repercussions, jail time, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But you, the person who brings that out, like you are still a fucked up person for bringing that out.
That is true.
That is what I don't want to get lost, and that is what sometimes sometimes does get lost in these situations. Is like that's not okay, and that's why I say if I love Gary Payton was my favorite fucking player growing up. I love shit talking within sports, shit talk within the means of the sport. You go in here and you say, I'm going to fuck you up. You're too slow for me. You don't got hands like that in this cage. I'm going to do this. And you can fuck. You're old. You're past your prime. You can't do this no more. I'm the new guy coming. I love all of that. But when you take it beyond the actual sport, you are opening you, and it doesn't mean that the other person isn't wrong, but you are opening yourself up to these out of line reactions. You were bringing about the possibility of the out of line reactions, as opposed to, like I said earlier, with the Koscheck Daly thing. They just talk shit about being able to beat each other in the cage. That's why Daly gets looked down so much upon, because he sucker punched him after it. Because all I said was I was going to beat you in this fight. I didn't say shit about nothing else. I said I was going to beat you in the cage. I beat you in the cage, and now it's mad. You didn't just say it was going to beat you in the cage. You took it beyond that. So when you take it beyond that, you're going to get reactions beyond that. And both parties are going to be wrong in that case. But just stick away from that. There's no reason for that. And to say it's promotion of the fight is not an acceptable reason to me. That's just not an acceptable reason to mention. So the same way I feel, if Poirier snuffed Conor for the shit that he said about his wife, I'd feel the exact same way. Because you don't do that has nothing to do with the fight. And Poirier would be wrong, and Poirier would be grounds to the exact same shit and those issues. But there's no acceptable reason for you to be coming up here talking about your wife is trying to smash me. She's a hoe. She's in my DMs. Peep this shit, and I'm a fuck. But like, nah.
Gino, last point, and we get out of here.
He did show out proof that she wasn't in the DMs. So that's more of like, yo, I'm helping you out here. But we're not gonna do that. Nah, let you go. It's my last point. You can't do this.
Come on, yo.
But like I was saying, it's just I don't like the idea. Like from my military background and from my martial arts background, there's a certain high level where it's you as the individual are always in control of your own actions. Even if someone antagonizes you, you have to recognize that, hey, even if someone says fighting words to you, you have the choice of whether or not to fight. And if you call someone out for a fight, yes, you have to be prepared for yourself. And yeah, hey, we both, all parties recognize who Kobe is, and we understand his level of promotion and how he promotes. We understand the shit talking he does. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that this is how Kobe promotes his fight and his career. Since he put on the MAGA stuff, it's always he's saying as much as possible to be a sensationalist in order to get under your skin and get the next fight done. Because people want to see him get knocked out. People want to see him get beat up. And that's what he's doing. Jorge, smart enough to recognize what's going on, but too dumb enough to realize how he's being played in the scenario, fell into the trap and is now going to pay a certain level of repercussions. Yeah, it feels good to knock somebody out who's talking shit, but it doesn't feel good to get iron bracelets put on your wrist as a response. So that means he did it the wrong way, because he's done it a few times in the ring and in turn got a belt put around his waist, got money put in his pocket. So he knows how to do it the right way, and he did it the wrong way. And to pretend like any of the steps that he took leading up to this is a good, or it was honorable, or was because of, hey, I got to look out for my kids or the honor of my kids. Nothing he's done has defended their honor or actually alleviate the problem that he was trying to. Because Kobe now still can talk shit about his kids, and now it's just even more. You can't even respond. That's it. That's all you've done. That's it. If he says like, hey, soon your kids are going to be seeing you through bars, you're not going to be able to hug your kids. You're going to be touching them through a glass. He's going to be fucking pissed, but He can't do anything now. Now he just made it so he can't do any repercussions. He can't do anything.
We get them. Did Kobe deserve what he got? It's my last.
Oh yeah. He
okay. All right. So we
it.
agree. That's all we saying. That's all we saying. Yo, you good on? I just wanted you to come on. So that shit. I didn't say he didn't. But look. We get that. But the reason why I wanted you to come on the show is because I knew you would bring that real perspective. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to know we don't, as far as me, I don't know if I can speak for Corey, because Corey say some fucked up shit all the time. Me, to be honest with you, I don't disagree with anything you just said as far as the way Masvidal handled the situation. Me and you have the same mindset when it comes to shit like that. I just wanted to make sure that people weren't surprised by this. I'm not saying, like, you know what I'm saying? That was my only point. Is that you shouldn't be surprised that this happened. Kobe deserved what he got, and I kind of understand where Masvidal is coming from. Would I have handled it the same exact way? No.
No, I would have shot him if I felt that bad. If I felt that I need to run up on him, I'm
it's
shooting
worse.
I'm shooting
It's a whole lot worse.
But I'm being real. I'm blowing the nigga's kneecap off, and then it's gonna be like, talk shit about my kids and understand I'm ending your future. You will never be in the UFC ring again unless you're fucking announcing and holding a fucking mic to someone's face after they got knocked out. But you gonna learn about talking about my kids.
That's
my
the
kids.
I know. This is the argument I was looking for the whole time.
I recognize I'm going to jail if that happens.
I think that was the difference in that exactly what you said. It's not good the way Jorge handled it. But it is expected that there's going to be repercussions for someone.
And the repercussions he had was he sucker punched him twice, which is like you could have did that in the ring. That's why I said, bro, you should have stabbed the nigga. Give that nigga some fear of God. You ain't do that. Like, what are you doing? Bro, this is why it's like, yo, why y'all hyped to defend the nigga for not even doing what he was trying to do? That's what I'm saying.
The problem is that the situation wasn't worse. So I get it. Nah, I get it. Like you, yo, that shit wasn't worth it if you didn't get your money. I get it.
That's why I'm saying, like, when we were talking about the cage, where it's like, oh, there's rules. He ain't do shit to break the rules. He could have did that in the ring. He just punched him twice in the face. There's nothing in UFC that says, yo, you can't punch someone in the face twice. What rule is that, Malik?
I didn't say standing up, did I?
That's the whole point. He did.
I didn't say standing up. We're not doing this again. We gonna disagree about that fight aspect all night.
I'll call you after this shit to argue with you.
Don't call me, nigga. Fuck out of here. But all right. Good show. We didn't get into half of the shit we was supposed to. This shit was not supposed to take 2 hours.
You said what topics? I was like, what other topics is we about to talk about?
Yeah,
we can go.
Chael getting 11. He got 11 charges, but that's a whole different story. Yo, man, that's one of those things where it's like, yo, this is what I'm saying. Like, yo, if you could, Kane, yo, I'm going to jail. I pulled a gun on the nigga who tried. Like, yo, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, there's a certain level.
Multiple times.
He shot
the wrong person.
But that's what I'm saying. Where it's like,
that's what you would prefer. So if Jorge had pulled something like Kane, you'd be like, yeah.
Kane or Chael fucked up 6 people. 6 people. Bro, 6 people. 6, come on.
So Jorge apparently his argument is you should have did a lot more than what you did.
Jorge only halfway went in. You needed to go full in like Kane. And
he made himself a felony by wearing the mask when he didn't even need to. Come on. Bro, he doing a whole bunch of dumb shit, man. That's all I'm saying. How did this help his kids? How does this defend his kids' honor is what I'm saying. Like, there's no, you let a nigga drive you to do stupidity and, go ahead, Malik, your point.
Yeah, I get you. Nah, you good. That's why we had you on the show, because I knew you brought a different perspective than what me and Corey would have, and you would be able to elaborate on it as you have. So I appreciate that shit. That's something that everybody needs to hear.
Very good and necessary discussion. This is
because you taught we all taught somebody something. Like, if you really think about it, like Gino taught people, yo, think about Think about your actions before you handle them. No matter what the circumstances is, you still need to carry yourself with a certain type of decorum. And me and Corey basically said, watch your fucking mouth, and then you won't have to worry about a nigga wondering if he's going to follow that certain decorum. That's pretty much what we talk to people. So it's a great episode. Y'all got any positive words? Anybody?
Yo, always try to tell people this. Tell your friends that you love them. Make sure that they know it. You never know when someone needs to hear it.
Corey?
I'm not following that shit. That was perfect.
I'm not following that shit.
Yo, I hate talking. Y'all niggas stay doing this shit to me. Fuck out of here.
Yo, we do this to everybody. It's not just you.
This is the third time I've heard him say this shit. This is the third time I've heard him say this.
Positive words.
Yeah, if you got good, like
nothing, and then Gerard says some terrible Instagram picture quote that ain't shit. Yours were actually good, positive words, so I'm gonna take that.
And it's some shit that I would say, so I didn't have anything like.
This is shit I do, I always try to. You always try to, fill your friends up.
Yeah. Gino's one of my best friends is not around. Like I could call like you don't I don't think a lot of niggas understand. Like there's certain niggas. Like I got the niggas at the shop, I got the Fadesman niggas. And then I got Gino and Loso, they could see a post and they be like, something's up with that. And then they'll hit me up yo, what's good, nigga? Don't post that shit. Or, yo, you could talk to me. Or some. Yo, Gino's my OG kind of. He checks me on a lot of shit.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Yo, Gino checks me on a lot of shit. Gino would hit me up and be like, yo, because is he a real nigga? Because he hit me up, he'd be like, yo, all right, tell me what's going on. And then I'll tell him what's going on. He'll be like, all right, you handled that fucked up. You shouldn't have posted that shit. Next time, nigga, you do some shit like that, you call me first. Gino is that type of nigga. So, yo, much love to you, Gino. We appreciate you for coming on.
Always, I appreciate the invites. Always good to chill with the community, talk shit. You know how it is. And Corey, I always look forward to a little argument with you every now and then.
Absolutely. You're one
that's
of
why
my
I
favorite.
sat back. That's why I sat back.
Other than Malik, you're my other favorite person to debate with.
Yeah.
I try to be factual.
You do, and that's why I respect it, because I'm the same. And even when it's not disagreed, it's not upon. You have I can understand your reasonings. Everything makes sense. You're not
of course.
Loso narrative god saying some wild shit. Just
Loso, top 5. Well, no, there's certain niggas where I say you need the infinity gauntlet of us on your Facebook in order for it to be lit.
Yeah, for you to understand,
right?
Bro,
you do it,
right?
Yo, bro, Loso got the time stone for nothing but hours, bro.
Yes.
But bro, if you ever be on my time, bro, when I be on my shit, bro, I be next level, bro. But also I be trolling niggas in different level, bro. I be warping realities around niggas.
Yeah, I've seen it. This nigga is wild as shit.
Appreciate that, Fries.
Appreciate Fries. Appreciate that.
Fries.
But all right, we'll be back eventually. I don't.
We'll be back before the next pay-per-view.
We will?
We got to do something before that. Because it's Jan and Sterling, and I got big shit to say because you be trying to hate y'all want.
You trying to hate on shit?
Listen. I just want to be here I want to be here for the post-Funk Master fight. I want to see how that goes.
I know exactly how it's gonna go.
Because if he gets washed and then Jan fucks up again, I'm gonna be dying. It's gonna be like, you doing John Jones shit without doing John Jones coke. How you fuck up 2 matches?
We'll see. We'll see.
Sterling had the blueprint to beat him. He just didn't have the cardio to complete the objective.
Bro, he had him beat and then kneed. It's I'm smoking him. Oh, he's taking a knee? Wow, take another.
Everyone said, I know everyone said no.
It was Aljamain shit kept on fighting. Word, after he got an illegal hit, bro, I'm taking that. Oh, this is
yeah.
Put this belt on me. Nah, I'm not mad at that.
You can do that.
You gotta do the Ric Flair shit, bro. Play the role. You sucker punch me doing the legal move. I'm supposed to benefit you in the championship. Give me your belt. Fuck out of here. Go back to training camp. Y'all gonna pay me more to fight this motherfucker. Dirty motherfucker.
Well, we'll get into that shit. I think we got 2 weeks, so there's plenty of time for us to get in another fight night. You're always welcome to pop on too. You know what I'm saying? Always welcome to pop on any episode, really. Because I have to deal with you on a personal basis.
When we talking about CFL, when we talking about Canadian Football League, and y'all
You know what? For you, Gino, for you, when does it start?
Bro, they ready to start doing the draft. We was trying to talk to you guys about the other, like 2 episodes ago, but then that's when I found out you guys were on automated and shit like that.
That was that one show. That was just that one show.
It hurt my soul. I was sitting there like, yo, I'm ready. Yo, they just did the draft. Yo, let's go Toronto.
I'm gonna start paying a little bit of attention to it and see what's going on. I'm gonna pay a little bit of attention.
It's a lot of different world watching people play sports because they love it versus getting paid for it.
Yeah, right. I feel that.
And they fight fans, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I do know that.
Oh, you got me. So why didn't you lead with that?
Bro,
lead with that next
I've literally posted videos in the at the shop about these niggas attacking fans, bro.
These niggas fight fans.
Toronto niggas too, I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Niggas fight fans.
Yo,
talk too much shit.
Damn,
niggas
I'm
will go
working
up in there
too
and
fucking
fight
much.
you.
I am
Yeah.
shit.
But all right, y'all, we out of here. Appreciate y'all tuning in. One.